Bonjour et comment ça va? Bienvenue à Barn Burner.
What
How
are
we
you,
doing?
Copying Trudeau today?
How was that?
Ça va bien.
How do you say I F and quit? How's
Adios,
that?
amigos.
Yeah. Muchachos.
Moonshot.
Yeah. Arrivederci, senor. We're in it. Welcome to Barn Burner on a Monday. Barn Burner, a presentation of Bet365, the world's largest sports betting platform. Open an account today with Bet365, and good golly, you're going to find a huge range of markets when you do. Download the app, use the promo code NATION when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. And as always, we've got the super chats wide open for you on the YouTubes. You get in there, you spend a little bit of dough, just a little donation, and we will direct it straight to the good folks at the Youth Centers of Calgary to help make Calgary a better place for our for the youths out there. I hope Bet365 is okay, because I had quite a year.
Really?
Oh, I was going to say yesterday was not a good day for the retro.
I
Had a great day yesterday again.
Week 18 is a dog.
I hate week 18
It's
so
a dog.
much. And it used to be week 17 because
Yeah,
week
yeah.
18. I had Taylor Pendrith miss top 10 by one stroke. That was going to be wonderful. The stinking Browns got 20 points. They had it fine, and then they 2 late touchdowns. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
I thought the Browns were in great shape.
I mean, I'm not here to boast.
Yeah.
But I mean, we talk about units, right? Unit play and all that.
Units,
I'm gonna have to get in. Over the course of the football season, based on my steady unit play, my consistent unit,
Heard about your unit.
doubled up.
Doubled your unit.
Doubled up.
Wow.
Stayed consistent.
That's
Road-
odd because we have the rankings and you were horseshit.
No, he had a good
No.
He might have caught you.
He came up the rankings, but for most of the year,
Keep in mind, the Bet365 isn't necessarily what I did
God.
on the screen here for these folks, but in
yeah,
real
when
life.
you really dig into it.
Look at that.
And I got it.
Does that include my 3-0 week, Jack?
Look
My
at
3-0
that.
week?
Yes, it does.
Nice.
Wow.
You were the only one that had a good week. The rest of us sucked.
Well, I was throwing darts because I thought I needed to catch you, but you were so far ahead. I needed to throw more darts.
Yeah, after
Yeah,
Jack
you did.
picked
Yeah, I should've
14
thrown
games
0
that
darts.
week. Yeah.
Anyway,
Threw a little love. I did the I like to see where's the value, and especially in a week like
you're
a week
a value
18.
guy.
That's value.
There's maybe some dogs here that aren't really underdogs. Maybe parlay a couple. Carolina Panthers, Houston Texans. Ding.
Bryce Young looks good.
Did you see what happened?
Jack said it in the other chat. He's like, this guy is going to be a star.
What happened?
Who's Bryce Young?
He's the quarterback for the Carolina Panthers.
Wow.
First overall.
They
sorry,
put him
I'm-
on they put him on the bench. Who are they playing instead?
Andy Dalton.
Andy
Dalton?
Oh,
yeah,
the
the Red
Rocket.
Rocket.
Nice.
Yeah. And then Dalton got in a
Rifle?
car accident.
Yeah.
He had to go back to him.
And he was ready. Little
Yeah.
breather. It's like when
Drew
Bob
Bledsoe.
Hartley put Johnny Gaudreau in the press box, came back, he was a star player.
That's right. Yeah.
Genius.
Now I didn't realize,
That's what they call him.
and I'm not sure if I don't want to. You get paid on a push?
No, you get your money back.
I got paid in a push.
Well, you got your bet back, right?
I got paid in a push.
How? Oh, wow. I don't know if you're allowed to talk about this.
Now, I did some teasing, right? I did a little teasing.
Tweak here and there. Yeah, you love.
So I moved the
tease.
Bears line
Mhm.
up.
Bears.
I moved the Chargers line down.
Huh?
Moved the Rams up.
Huh?
Brought the Buccaneers down. I
What
had
a-
Buccaneers at -8, which was the winning margin. So I have a win, and a push. Got paid.
In a parlay. That makes sense. Yeah. So they would take out that leg of the parlay. You wouldn't have made the full amount.
Bet365, you guys are the best.
I like that.
You guys are the best.
You're
lose.
well, they are the best, and you're kind of the best. So probably they'll be phoning you.
I bet they will be.
You'll be.
Hey, you guy.
Hey, Dean
Fella.
Mulberg. Yeah, this is Bet365.
Yeah.
Could you loan us a few bucks?
No, they're gonna bring him into.
Set lines?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty smart, eh?
Look at him. He loves math.
I'm pretty sharp. I'm pretty sharp guy.
Mm,
So feeling good.
good
Yeah, it's
for you. I'm less than.
It's been a good couple of weeks. We got a fantasy football championship. We've doubled
Back
up
to
our
back.
boom.
worst league in the world.
It's atrocious. People hate each other. The chat's dead.
Dead.
No one
There's
wants to
no
be there.
emotion.
Everyone whines
What did you
about the
win?
draft.
Anything?
People
Don't even
pay
know.
their
Don't even
dues.
know. Yeah, it don't matter.
No, you about $1,000.
Sweet.
Would you believe that
Yeah, you
I
know
still
what.
havened collected from people? Despite
don't
the
say.
you're
Hey,
not
you're
allowed to
usually-
draft if you don't pay
Yeah.
threats.
I'm sure I emailed you.
I think you actually might have paid me this year. It was 2 years ago you didn't pay me.
Well, you had a rough go after the Christian McCaffrey.
I didn't have a good start. I didn't have a good season, and
Remember when I offered you James Cook and you thought I was screwing you?
it didn't
That would
matter
have
at
been
that point. You offered me
fantastic.
James Cook when I had 2 wins and there was 2 games left. Like,
No, trade deadline was more than that.
well, whatever.
Hey
You-
guys, people want to hear us talk about hockey, I bet, as opposed to our fantasy football teams.
Why would
Because
they
there's
want-
nothing like
So-
listening to other people talk about
So
their.
what leads you to believe that?
Well,
Because what happened in the past 48, 72 hours that
well,
would
maybe
have
they want
people
us to tear into them. Maybe that's what
I
they're.
think it's venting time, boys.
Opening statements for McLeod Law. Peter Klein at McLeod Law, your personal injury guy, the main go-to, but he's also your go-to guy for disability insurance. That long-term disability insurance company is refusing to pay you your benefits that you deserve and have paid for. They're yours. Get Peter on your side, get him going to work, and I bet it'll be one of those things. They'll start showing up. Lo and behold, wow, coincidence. Peter Klein, Got it going for you?
Mhm.
It's how it works. McLeod Law, Calgary-based, proud of those Calgary roots. You want Calgary's best law firm on your side. That's McLeod Law, McLeod-law.com. Yes, the Flames, in a lot of ways, played very well, I thought, the other night against the Nashville Predators,
Especially early.
but did not win.
well, it's Nashville. I mean, they loaded up in the off season.
Yeah.
You really only can hope to contain them.
Yeah,
What are
yeah.
you gonna
Can't
do?
stop them, just
It's
to
not
contain
their
them.
fault that they played on a back-to-back, and Nashville just continues to roll, and they don't slow
Once
down.
they got that third goal, it was like, well, it's gonna
That
be
is
tough
really
now.
kind of, we joke about it, but it's got to be a thing now.
Okay, I got the
Yeah,
stats. Are you ready for it?
And before you do, it's got to be a thing.
Has to be.
When they're on the bench, it's like, they scored 3.
We're done.
We're pretty much hooped. They can't score. They
So
Sorry, I was just gonna say I thought they deserved. They
Chances to score.
deserved a
Early
better fate.
especially.
I liked a lot of what they did.
love the Coronado scrap. My God.
I loved that everyone was laughing about it on the bench.
Yeah, he picked the right guy to go with, I guess. If
Well,
you're
and
gonna-
look, it's for both of those guys. There's not many guys in the league you can scrap. They can scrap each other.
Yeah.
But he's a Harvard kid. You know, he sees his captain get bowled over. I bet he's never fought before in his life.
No.
And so here we go. Love it. Good to see it. And they're swinging. It's not grabbing hugs. They're trying to punch each other. Good work.
if I'm Lomberg, hey,
After practice.
stick around for a few after practice today. Not that you're going to be doing this a ton.
I was
but
just gonna say, how about Lomberg says, "Don't, awesome job, don't do that ever again."
yeah, don't
Yeah,
break your
I
I don't
hand.
need you.
Unless you've got Elias Pettersson on the
Yeah,
other side.
You're
like-
one of the few guys that might be able to score on our team.
Yeah, let's not
That's
spend
true,
our
yeah.
time worrying about this.
Yeah.
part of
Bust
the
your
game.
knuckle on a friggin' Bauer.
But you love to see it, no? Like
I love that.
That's fine. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And I love that line for him playing with Coleman and Backlund. He's getting really good away from the puck. You've noticed his shot a ton. He's one of the few offensive weapons, to your point. And then he sees something he doesn't like. And look, how many years have we heard this? Not this group, but prior groups tell us out loud how much they like each other.
Love each other. Very tight.
You don't have to
groups.
tell.
So tight.
You just have to watch
Ask you.
actions. That tells you about that room.
No, I think you're right.
And I'm not saying that means that they're going to win or lose or anything like that. I'm just saying often when it's not obvious, people have to go out of their way to tell. It's obvious these guys, they care about each other.
And they care about what's happening.
Yes. And
Just about what I don't like that we're losing. I
Yeah.
don't like that we're down.
I don't like that hit.
I don't like the hit.
And I think it tells you where they are in their standings compared to where they're projected to be. They're over their skis because this group, they're pulling the rope in the same direction. They're unified.
Now they do lose 4-1.
Yeah.
Couple power play goals. Poor
Oh,
Kuzi.
There we go. He's going to say no, and then I'm going to have a different take.
I don't know what the question is yet.
I don't either. Do you want to tell
What do
me
you
what
do
it is?
with him?
No.
I mean, what do you do?
That's the answer.
Because there again,
What can you do?
you can tell he came out flying.
He's trying.
He was busting his ass. He was trying to make plays. He had the puck in his stick. He was, I mean, there's a lot of nights you didn't see him well because he was in the press box, but
Especially those nights.
penalty. I don't know the last time I've seen the playing with a broken stick like he did.
Too excited.
It's like, is he in a relay race with the friggin' baton?
And he said,
It's like, what?
said post game,
Dude.
through his broken English
Yeah,
that
yeah,
he's
yeah.
eloquently mastered. He didn't really know the rule, which
No.
is insane because I'm pretty sure most of our kids would know that rule.
Just drop the stick.
Just drop the stick. Drop
So
the
that
stick.
was-
drop the
no,
stick.
my
Drop the stick.
13-year-old, my 13-year-old, that's why is that a penalty? Because it's a weapon. I'll
See, there you
stab
go.
you with
Yeah,
it.
I'll stab you right,
Stab you in the face.
right in the face.
But your other two kids,
Jesus,
what are their chances?
Oh, they're
The
up to
oldest guy
lunch,
would
those
know
guys.
for sure.
Yes, I think so.
So anyway, that compounds it in a way because it's kind of a dumb penalty.
Well, that goal that they
Kuzi,
get
what are we
there
doing
is a
then?
big
They
one.
score on us. Shit, and then he's
Yeah,
back
well,
in the
stop
penalty.
the.
They score
You
again.
do. It's the same as when they gave Pospisil shit for costing them the game on that forecheck. Oh, you're taking undisciplined penalties. Well, don't get scored on.
It's an effort
Mm.
play. It's not lazy.
Yeah.
Right, where you're hooking a guy coming through the
Like
neutral
you-
zone or something.
You cannot let them score on the power play.
Yeah.
That's okay too. That was, and I didn't know how to read into it, and I don't know if you can read into it because bounces and the shit. If those guys, we were just talking about how tight the room is.
Mhm.
If they like Kuzi, they kill that fucking penalty. And I- you know what I
generally
mean?
speaking, I
Like,
get what you're saying.
yeah.
Yeah. You get your best effort if they
Yeah.
care for the guy. And I don't
That's-
think they don't care for the guy, but
And I'm not saying they don't like him, but you would have liked to seen a rally maybe to like, and maybe they did try, and you still get a bounce.
Guys back into the lineup. You
Yeah.
can see he's busting his ass. It's too bad. He's beating himself up. You can tell he'd be beating
Yeah.
himself
Oh,
up
for
over
sure.
it.
Yeah.
And then they score on it. And then he's back in the box. And then they score again. It's not going his way. I feel for him. There's something about him. There's a likability there. You kind of, maybe it's,
Well, there's
you feel
likability
bad
if he
for
plays
him.
with the effort,
yeah.
right?
I would love to see him back in because the effort was there. Like, I didn't mind the process so much as the results are bad, right?
Yes.
And so Ryan Husk is a big picture guy. He understands if he can get some positivity out of Kuzmenko going forward, that's going to help him in the one area they're glaringly awful at, scoring goals.
What?
But that's a tough night of results for Kuzmenko when he's in the box when he is, and the nature of the penalties.
Wolf was terrible. Stop the puck. Civ.
I don't know. Like, they got the backup. They got a
We
team.
gotta
that-
have Wolf in. Wolf's the savior. La-di-da. 4.
one was an empty net. No,
Oh, that's right.
I mean,
3.
Three's too many.
3's too
We
many.
established that.
You got to get to overtime. if you get
3-2
three.
league, right?
That night, too, was too many.
But I'm less about the, like, you know, you play this guy and great things are going to happen this season so much as it's clear what the path is moving forward for this organization.
Kuzi's in a bad spot because the team's doing too good.
Well, I'm talking about goalies, but Kuzmenko as well. Yeah. And look, I don't know. Is Walker Duehr undeniable? No.
No.
So I'd keep Kuzi in a little longer, especially if he wants, if the give a bleep meters
Yes.
moving like it was.
And he'd be a good coach.
No.
He sees it clear.
I know.
Got a great eye for.
Yeah, goals per game,
Bill,
eh? Nashville,
bottom
Chicago, and Anaheim are the only 3 teams below them.
Nashville will pass them too. They're starting to click. Like, haven't watched them a bit. Like they're
Yeah, you do feel like they should be able to
starting to
score
come.
more.
I think it's probably too late for Rhett to lose that bet to Noodles, but
Oh, they're not making the playoffs.
they're not going to finish dead.
Playoffs?
Playoffs.
They were dead last when the Flames played them last. I think that was one of the 2 times
Playoffs?
they've played in their last 36 games. 36, that's a lot. It's like more than a third of a season, almost
What
half
the hell
a
are you
season.
talking about?
The last 36 games, they scored
9.
4 goals
Sorry, wrong number.
twice.
You want to do it
I know
again?
you said that last time. Yeah, on Friday.
They've played 2 games since then.
Oh,
Actually, 1, but yeah.
1. But
36 games. Their last 36.
so wait.
Twice
if they score-
they've scored 4 or more. Once against Chicago, who looked
Yes,
rotten
they're
before the
good.
Christmas break, and the other in Nashville when I believe the Predators were 32nd in the 32-team NHL. Those are the 2 times
So if
in
they
the last 36 games.
so would 3 be okay?
No,
Oh.
3 is proven not to be
So-
okay.
no, I'm saying like if they play in Anaheim tomorrow and they score 4, then it'll be 3 times they've scored 4 goals in.
If they score 4 in Anaheim
3 is
tomorrow,
better than 2,
right?
right?
they've never
Hey.
lost when they've scored 4.
Shut the front door.
They're
Ryan.
5-0.
My God.
I'm betting a lot of teams probably win a lot when they score 4 a night.
Yeah, but
Just
a lot of them
thought.
do it more than 5 times in half a year.
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
games in a row to start the
Well,
year.
just
6,
think
6,
when
4.
the floodgates
Twice 6.
open, how good this team.
That's
will be.
because
They're
they
right
come in
on
bunches.
they're on the bicuspid right now.
They
They're
are
almost-
on the bicuspid for
so-
sure.
What was the tooth reference again?
Yeah. Just looking here to see did they go after Kaliev or anything? Is there any kind of
I got a Kaliev conversation if you want.
kind of anyway? And just kind of looking at it, they got of the goals that they've scored 102 times. 10 of them are into an empty net somehow.
Oh,
So you
10.
take those away.
That's almost 10%.
It's not. I mean, hey, it's not good.
I could actually look at that Edmonton game. There would be an empty netter there. With a goalie in, even worse numbers.
That's right.
Oh,
jeez.
jeez.
Don't you don't you know what?
I
Don't,
think the point
just
has
stop
been
right now.
made. We understand.
Edmonton.
They
We've done a
don't score.
a good job of.
No, and look, I think if we had been asked in late September where you thought the team would be through 39 games, this would have exceeded everyone's expectations.
Oh,
Well,
they're 7 points higher.
Outside
now-
of that room, everyone. I bet you if you gave the GM truth serum, he would think they were here right now.
Just so I remember,
Mhm.
because I think I was here when we had the conversation when the three of us were talking. I think I was here. Was our estimation and assertion that the offense was probably going to be okay, but the D and the
defense was
goaltending
gonna
was going to be
terrible.
I think
yes.
the goaltending was the great unknown.
right?
The D was not likely good enough because
Yeah.
it was like a lot of Houdats playing, and they had a lot of forwards. You're like, yeah, I don't mind the winger depth.
So we
Centers were going to be an issue. We knew that.
we nailed it.
Again, undefeated,
But if anything, it's maybe the defense has been better than we thought.
100%.
Just keeping
You're
it
saying
clean.
we were wrong in our take?
They scored an empty net that night too.
Shut up. Really? So they have
4 times in 39 games have they scored 4 or more. They scored 6 opening night in Vancouver. They scored 6 their second game when they had their home opener. They scored 6 December 10 against
What's the-
Nashville and December 21 against Chicago.
What's
That's
the
it.
league average, Dean? Do you know?
Oh, there's teams above 3 a game. No one's averaging more than 4, but to average it means you'd have done
So
it half
Washington at
time.
the top, 3.72 goals per game.
Washington.
So how many teams in the league? 30 some.
Yeah,
32.
6.
Somewhere in the middle's like between that 14, 16 range. 3.03, 3 point, Kings 3.11. They're 13th.
How are they
Vancouver
still winning? Let's pay more
Kings.
attention to
Buffalo.
Kings.
3.03.
Oh,
Pittsburgh.
Sabres can score. They just can't defend.
Yeah, they need a little swap. Maybe they trade coaches.
Apparently, they're having a hard time selling tickets.
Oh no.
Really? With the last 14 years they've had? That's stunning.
no. But
What do
they
people
wanna
want?
I know they come out of the Christmas break and win a couple. They
Yeah,
throw in the towel.
There's not an immediate reaction. We
Like,
got to get tickets because they
Where
beat up
are you
somebody.
spending your ticket money, people?
Yeah, what else is going on in Buffalo?
Nothing going on. Oh wait, would have been a hell of a weekend for the Retro to go.
Yes.
My nephew's playing Niagara
Oh, the university?
and the Bills.
NCAA?
Mhm.
Yeah, very good. How's their team?
Horseshirt,
Oh, well.
Anchorage.
It's a long way. So yeah, this week they got back-to-back games. So there you go. The goalie
Late
swap.
starts, which is good.
The goalie thing can continue.
Mhm.
Flip-flop till someone wins, I guess. eh?
Ducks tomorrow, Kings
Kings again.
the day after, and then the Kings come for a one-off for the Flames at home.
Afternoon game on Saturday, late night.
Late night. 8
Eight?
bells.
Oh, another late one.
A lot of late these days. 8:30 on
Oh,
Wednesday.
my
But
internal
then-
clock.
5:30 next Monday against Chicago. 6
Oh,
o'clock against St.
there-
Louis.
Is that okay? Going into Chicago when I first started playing in the league.
Yep.
It was good.
Yeah.
Then it was absolute Deadsville.
Yeah.
Then it was
Tennessee.
really, really, really good.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
best ever.
Yeah.
Chicago on a Monday. Ooh. I'll bet you get tickets to that game in Chicago.
You think
I
there'd be
there's probably 6,000 or 7,000
Bet
seats
you
still
could get
available?
tickets.
Yeah. It's a big building.
Let's get to the Insider Hotline. It's a presentation of Crystal Waters Plumbing and Heating. If you're a Barn Burner listener or viewer, you need a hot water heater, an AC, a furnace, you'll get discounts and upgrades up to $1,000 in value. They've been doing it for 23 years, 30,000 projects completed. Whatever it is that you need, their mission is to be the guardians of your home's mechanical heart. Solution for all budgets. Don't put it off. Get them in there. Get them looking. Make sure everything's safe because it was cold over the weekend. It's going to warm up. But as you said, it'll get cold again.
Oh, yeah.
Prediction time right there. Your crystal clear choice for home comfort is Crystal Waters Plumbing and Heating, 403-219-4100, online crystalclearcalgary.com. Daily Faceoff. Our insider is Frank Seravalli. Frankie boy.
What's up, boys?
We're just kind of looking at the Flames. The Flames weekend, another loss. They lose to Nashville. They can't score.
I'll just do the stat for you. If you don't include empty nets and shootouts, they've reached 4 goals 4 times this year, and they did it the first 2 games of the year. That's got to be the lowest number in the league by a mile.
So are they 29th of 32?
In goals 4 per game, they're 28 or 29. I think you noted.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's just like they can't get to 4.
And yet,
yeah,
firmly, thickly in the middle of the playoff race.
They are 1 point out of the playoffs. They are 4 points away from a top 10 selection. I don't know where they're going.
Parody. Gary wanted it. He's got it.
Damn right. Way to go, Gary.
Anybody on any given night? Chipping a chair, Frank.
I was just asked this question 5 minutes ago. Is it harder to make the playoffs in the East or the West?
Well,
I'm pretty sure it's the East. I'm pretty sure it's the West that's harder to make the playoffs. But man, it's a way better question than you would ever even have to think about.
So the caliber of opponent might be tougher in the East. Would that be fair to say? If you're looking at Tampa in a wild card, Pittsburgh in a wild card, I would.
Does Pittsburgh scare you?
No.
Well, I'll be honest. Calgary and St. Louis, they don't really.
Yeah. 579 is Vancouver's points percentage. That's the last team in the West. That's much higher than the East, but you also have more doormats to beat up on in the West. Is that fair?
Yeah. I've had to think about it, and I didn't think I would have to.
Is anyone thinking about relocating, Frank? Like, could Detroit move back to the West? What are we getting to here?
It's funny you said that because I just got a text. Craig Morgan, formerly of PHNX Sports, just tweeted, newly elected Maricopa County Board of Supervisors chairman announces the formation of a committee of political and business leaders to bring the NHL back to Arizona.
Yeah, let's bring them back.
He confirms that NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman met with the committee before Christmas.
Jeez.
Oh, Gary won't like that being out there.
Big mouths.
I think we've all expected this, no?
Yeah, I mean, it's only a matter of time before the NHL is back in Phoenix.
They just need a non-douchey owner and a good rink.
I mean, 2 rather large hurdles to clear and many, many billions of dollars to do.
What's harder, the douchiness or the rink? Bigger challenge.
I'd say rink.
I mean, given the douche factor surrounding billionaires in general.
Because rich guys are douches a lot of times.
I'd say I'm going to have to lean on the douche.
Yeah.
It's just a collection of douche nozzles.
I think that's on is it like an application form for the league?
So hang on. The challenge is not finding enough rich douches in Phoenix or building a rink in the right spot. Because I think there'd be lots of rich douches.
Is there a right spot for the rink? Like they can do this?
It's in Scottsdale for sure.
I know it's in Scottsdale, but can they act like
the last proposal was North Scottsdale on a freeway, and it wasn't perfect, but that was the best option we've seen in a while, or no?
Yeah. And no, so here's the actual challenge. It's not avoiding a douche. It's finding a douche that has enough money that wants to be an NHL owner.
Right.
You need, I was going to say, I don't think he's a douche, but you need a guy who's a billionaire, like Ryan Smith in Salt Lake, who's like, I'm living in Phoenix. I've got a ton of dough.
This would be fun.
And I'm into
Buffalo Sabres.
Let's go. Let's do it the right way this time. But again, I don't know that you would think maybe that guy or that girl or they would have come out of the woodwork by now.
Well, I think when could they have come out? I mean, the billionaire had the rights to the franchise until how many months ago? 6?
Yeah.
Like and they've met already with the league. Like, I don't think
over the course of time, that team has been available.
Yeah.
The keys have been thrown on Gary's desk how many times? It's just
a lot. And he's put bad owners in there many times.
Because you can't get a quality list of douches to put in there.
You're happy.
I'll drop it. I promise.
That's all right. You don't need to.
I think the rink's a bigger challenge, but yeah.
Anyway, I mean,
we'll
it's
see.
not a front burner issue.
But it's not a front burner issue because for the first time in as long as I can remember, there's not a single problem spot.
Do you see any issues of the Winnipeg in attendance? I know that was squeaky wheel. It's not gotten better.
I
It's
don't.
not
I
better
think
in
it's
their
all
terms?
BS in general. No offense to Winnipeg ownership who was sounding the alarm, but I think they made a grave PR mistake in doing what they did last year, sounding that alarm. First off, and I know I don't know the exact percentage splits, but David Thompson, last time I checked, is he the richest guy in Canada?
Maybe one of them, yeah.
Or second, third, fourth, whatever it is. Many, many billions, 50 billions.
It's a lot of
The Winnipeg Jets are not he could write a check and solve all of the world's problems for the province. I say that in jest, but
It's a dump.
I didn't say that either.
I'm from Saskatchewan. It's the same thing.
But the point is was that really authentic? Is the team ever actually in trouble?
Not if he wants to support it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm saying. So if you
brought it back for a reason, I think, right? From in his eyes,
it's a civic pride thing. It's not we're going to print money every year. Yeah. And that doesn't mean it's an unlimited blank check, but it could be very much so.
Who plays again first? Gabriel Landeskog or Jonathan Toews?
Ooh.
My gut is neither.
Okay.
I'll tell you what I know about both. It's a great question. Landeskog looked really good in morning skate last week, and his issue hasn't been in looking good. His issue has been, what does your knee look like the next day? And for him, the answer has been like a balloon and swollen. Not good. And that part has been really difficult, which is why you haven't consistently seen him on the ice. And so a lot of people want to say, oh, well, he was out there for morning skate. Clearly he's getting closer. He's making progress. No, you need to participate in team practice every single day and morning skates. You need to go on road trips. You need to do it for 3 weeks or a month before we can say that you're getting closer to returning. And I don't think we're anywhere close to that. The Avalanche are working on dual tracks. What if Landeskog is back? What if he isn't? They've got potentially $7 million to spend in LTIR savings if they want to. And then if Landeskog comes back in the playoffs, then that's fantastic. And if not, if we get through this season and Landeskog still hasn't played a game, regular season or playoffs, I'm sorry, I have a real hard time thinking that he's going to be coming back at all.
Do you want to go to Toews, or should we react to that first?
Oh, you can go to Toews.
So Toews is a little bit of a different story. This healing journey that he went on, and I don't know if you read about it in GQ or not, but it was really detailed. And my God, I'm raising my hand. If it was anywhere other than India, I'd probably go. But the 5 weeks there, the 30 pounds that he lost vomiting, it doesn't sound very pleasant, but I could go for that in terms of weight loss.
So why did he go? For people that really don't know, Jonathan Toews has not been playing.
Obviously,
he is mounting a
chronic. It was called chronic inflammatory response disorder, and essentially, his body was reacting to everything that he did. Take a vitamin. He said in the story, I'd have a glass of water in the morning and my body would swell up. I don't know how that's possible, but it was just constantly being kicked into high gear. He said he went through long stretches during his career, even at the beginning of it when he was at the peak of his powers and winning Stanley Cups, couldn't sleep. So it was revealing. I think it was both physical and, to his point, probably emotional as well, to work through some things. He's gone there. He's feeling the best that he has in years. He's back skating. He's down to his playing weight. And he's curious about a comeback and what that would look like to actually end on terms that he decides. And I can tell you that there's a number of teams that are fascinated by what if we could even get Jonathan Toews at 75% of what he used to be? Could we plug him into a third line center role? And that's a ready-made playoff game changer for us.
Is that a realistic expectation for a 36-year-old that hasn't played in 2 years?
It's not 2 years yet. Landeskog has been 2 years.
He lifted the cup and hasn't played since, if I'm correct.
Yeah, Landeskog is closing in on 3, just for comparison's sake. Toews, we saw, I don't know.
3 games, two
it's
seasons
a while.
ago.
Yeah.
Coming up
So,
on 2 years.
now Toews, though, like, assuming, and there's a big assumption, assuming that the physical part of him, the chronic inflammation is calmed down significantly and back under control, it's a lot different than trying to battle through a knee injury where you just don't get the body cooperation. I think, if you had to place a wager for me, if you forced me to, it would be on Toews, but I think my primary choice would be neither.
Landeskog is interesting because it's a huge risk if they bring him back in the regular season, and it's almost no risk if you try him in the playoffs, and you get to add at the deadline and use his cap space.
Yeah,
like for me, it feels like a perfect Tampa, Vegas, LTIR, Oilers fans lose their mind, even though they had 2 guys pretend to be injured and fake retire. Like this is the outrage bowl, perfect opportunity. You hold him up to the playoffs. You talk about ramping him up, all the things you just said. He needs to do it for an extended amount of time, not just one day. Like, why wouldn't you just keep him out till spring?
That would personally be my game plan. I don't think you need to be operating on dual tracks. You say, look, if you want to come back, that's great. We'll be happy to have you, but we'll be happy to have you in April.
I think some of that outrage too has been, is he really hurt? The Mark Stone stuff always, is he really hurt or is he coming back? This is
sure, but the NHL's doctors.
Pretty legit.
It's the timing of the Mark Stone injuries. It wasn't just like that they happened. It was the exact time that they happened. And then it's like Vince McMahon walking into, that meme where he's like, all of a sudden the week of the playoffs, the door bursts open for the Vegas Golden Knights in their locker room. And here comes Mark Stone ready to go back on the ice for the postseason. Like,
Hellfire and brimstone.
Yeah. How'd that happen?
Now for Toews,
I figured you would appreciate that. Reference.
Yeah, I would appreciate that. Short list of teams. You said there would be some interest, and no question there would be. And there's some teams that are kind of in the rumor mill. Who do you believe would be a possible candidate there?
So one thing to point out, and I'm glad you went back to Toews because I forgot to mention this part. He's not entirely certain that if he is going to come back, that it's going to be for this year. I still think there's some runway given that he's skating. He's basically got 60 days from tomorrow, 2 months exactly, to sign a contract. And then if you really want to have fun with LTIR, you could also LTIR Toews and have him come back a month later when the playoffs begin. So you've got some options there. It's probably not going to cost you much. It's probably a prorated league minimum salary. See if this guy can do it. So he fits any team from a cap perspective, but I'll give you 3 that I talked about and maybe add in a 4th. Toronto desperately needs to remake their third line. I think that's one of Brad Treliving's top goals for the trade deadline. Winnipeg as a hometown team, I think you'd have to point out, given how well that they've played, and he still has family ties to the area. And then Colorado, another team that we've talked about. Like, could you imagine Toews fitting into that group, cornering the market on Toews and Woods? But that'd be a great fit there as well for a team that could really use some depth. And the wild card for me would be Vegas, because they're on everything.
They do. They do it all.
I was expecting to say Edmonton. I don't know why. Maybe it's because they brought in a million mid-30-year-old forwards, but
I think a lot of people wanted to paint the Stan Bowman connection as well. I don't really see it. I think they could use an upgrade at the bottom of their lineup at that position, but I don't know. I'm just not feeling it.
Okay.
It's purely gut based on more than anything.
Colorado, since they won the cup, Landeskog hasn't come back. Kadri leaves in free agency. They make the big swap with Byram to get Middlestad. Like, is that a team that if Toews is for free, sure, we add a center, or no matter what, we need to add center depth? Like, where are they at? Because it looks like they've got the goaltending at least stable for now. And that really tried to sink the first quarter of their year.
Yeah, I think the Colorado Avalanche, given what they've been dealing with this season with both atrocious goaltending and injuries, I don't know that there's been a full appreciation for how good their top end players have been. And that sounds wild to say when you look at Nathan McKinnon having a 6-point edge in the scoring race, and then only a couple spots behind him is Mikko Rantanen, and you don't have to look that far down the list to find Kel Makar.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically been 3 guys carrying that team on their back since the start of the year. And that, to me, that screams usually not playoff success. Like, that's a team that would, fall short because you can't squeak through. But I think with the right health situation for a bunch of their players, including Jonathan Drouin, you see him back in the lineup and he's been producing again. Like, if they've got everyone back and they complement this team properly and use that LTIR space, look out, because I think Colorado's as good as anyone.
10-2-1 in their last 13.
Yep.
There you go. I'm thinking, I don't even know if I should ask this, because by the time people get to it, it'll be old news, but we are doing a live show. The Arthur Kaliev on waivers in Los Angeles, a high 2nd round pick back in, I guess, 2019, was considered to be a very good pick for the LA Kings at the time. This guy maybe fell to them. Hopes were high. They have not, it has not worked for him there. Is it going to work for him anywhere? Do you expect a waiver claim, or just, I guess, thoughts on the player in general?
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a waiver claim. I think there's a couple teams that would be curious, but curious is at the most. Yeah. Like, I think there's been a ton of ink spilled for a mostly very average player. By the way, that actually got me thinking, and I wanted to test out my theory on you guys. Trevor Lewis, he hits 1,000 games, of course. 2-season Calgary Flame Trevor Lewis over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Is Trevor Lewis the last of a dying breed? Will we ever see another player hit 1,000 games in the NHL that has produced as little as Trevor Lewis has?
Essentially as a 4th-line penalty killer, right? Most of his career.
Yeah, I mean, how many of those guys moving forward now are going to carve out a full 1,000 games?
He was a 1st rounder, wasn't he?
He was a late 1st rounder.
All the way back.
Oh, he's a mid-1st rounder, 17th overall in 2006. And the players that were picked ahead of him, he's hit double-digit goals twice. His career average over an 82-game season is 8 goals. And 8 goals and 19 points. Like, not cracking 20 points. Will we ever see it again? And
No.
First off, I'm giving him full marks, because you don't make it this long if A, you don't work your ass off, and B, everyone loves you.
And you don't win a cup.
He won 2.
I know, that's my point.
Yeah.
You don't make it this long if you don't have that cup to walk around.
He came to
and
Calgary
show
in a
off.
PTO, didn't he? 4 years ago
Like,
under Darryl?
I don't think so, Frank. I'm with you.
I think I don't know if we'll ever see it again. I really don't. Averaging 8 goals a year, like, at some point they just say we can get someone younger, faster, cheaper.
So it's happened everywhere he's gone.
So how'd he get there? Obviously health, right? But you got to be a good guy. You got to be in good shape. You got to be effective at your role. In a lot of cases, teams probably fairly knew what they were getting when they bought Trevor Lewis.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Plus, he wasn't going to not live up to.
When did he win? How old was he?
He was
2nd cup. He would have been.
He's a young man.
He was 25 and
26,
27.
That's why. I'm not. It's again. Don't hear this as a slight to Trevor Lewis. He was on a cup-winning team. If he loses those 2 cups, I guarantee you he doesn't get 2,000 games.
Just that bringing in a winner.
It's the winner, and it's I know they know how to do it, and he knows, and he does. I'm not again.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like you're slighting him, but it's not a slight. It's he won 2 cups as a young guy. He comes into the room, he's comfortable.
It's really got me thinking, because like now I'm thinking about Alec Martinez, and another guy who was a really solid defenseman for a long, long time in the NHL, just did a lot of things without a lot of fanfare, but he's still playing. He was on those Kings Cup winning teams. In fact, scored a cup clinching goal.
You know who I was thinking of, Frank?
There's so many, and
he gets $4 million this year. I know a team that was interested in signing Alec Martinez, And they made the offer and they said, sorry, we're going to go to Chicago. And the GM said, well, how much did they give you? And they said, 5 times as much as you offered.
At least he played top 4 in his prime. Like, that's not anything Trevor Lewis did, right?
It's a thing. And I'm not.
You've got me thinking now, Rhett. Like, how many other guys have just had?
I have a personal. If I went to the Stanley Cup 3 times, if I'd have won those 3 cups, my career doesn't end when it ends.
Agreed.
There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
You got that capital W winner tattooed on your forehead, and people can't.
You know what? It's
ignore it.
interesting.
Strutting in.
So
with
how
my
much
rings and I'm just
how much
going,
earlier do you think it would have ended?
Oh, I'd have partied my way out right after the first.
You would have got one
Right
more
after-
contract.
Yeah, that's
One more
right.
contract. That's what it was for sure.
There's no way I'd have got out of Florida, Frank. I would have like totally cooked the goose.
Another guy I just checked because I wasn't sure. Seeing Tanner Pearson still playing with the Vegas Golden Knights. I mean, he was on those at least one of those teams. He was a
It's
cup winner there,
thing.
and he's not as old as I maybe thought. But how long has this guy been in the league? Some guys.
But at least he
guys
was a
find a way.
24-goal scorer.
Yeah.
24 goals is like Trevor Lewis's entire career. I'm exaggerating, but he has 50 total in 1,000 games.
Wow.
That's
Well,
it's
maybe it's
so
like
much.
Hockey Canada. He's got the right agent and he's got the right political things. You can.
It's
I listened.
It's
to
like,
Frank's little clip.
yeah.
It was great. Frank was
he
awesome.
cut
Yeah,
it. he
We
carved
unloaded
out
on
a living
Friday
the hard
pretty
way.
good. But what was your Hockey Canada takeaway?
Where do we begin?
Well, like, does everyone have
Whatever
to go?
Frank wants.
Everyone under the like.
Don't be
they,
coy.
They got a clean house here, don't they?
I
know
think they
Cameron's
do. I
contract's
think
up, but, like,
it's right at the very top with Scott Salmon, and it's arrogance is what it is.
Yeah.
Look, Hockey Canada deserves a ton of credit for decades of excellence. But the game, it's not just that the game has changed, the landscape has changed. You know, someone had said to me last night, a prominent hockey person, hey, I can't believe it took the U.S. this long to win back-to-back golds. And I said, well, did you realize that at the World Juniors, the U.S. didn't win at all until 2004? Rhett's career was almost over by then.
That was the Marc-Andre Fleury. Oh, that was
2004.
We kicked the shit out of the Americans in Boston.
Forever.
Crushed
Forever.
That was
Now-
a year, 96.
The U.S. has now won 3 of the last 5. They've won 7 times in the 21 years since the first one. And it's not just the U.S. This isn't me as American here with my
No,
U.S.
but
patch
you
on.
have insight. I don't want to interrupt you, but you have insight into what USA Hockey does and how they approach things compared to Hockey Canada. And they're vastly different.
Well, we could talk about the American development model and small area games and a million other coaching
Single
things.
year birth hockey.
Yeah.
You just play against your kids your age. You're not forced to climb the ladder too fast. There's all kinds of little things that I clearly have an opinion on because I've lived it both now.
And
I'm
it's not perfect. To
No,
be
there's
fair,
no
it isn't.
perfect. But there are things that Hockey Canada just ignores because they've been the best for so long.
It's not just that. It in this specific tournament this year, it was Hockey Canada and Scott Salmon and the management team there saying, we know better than all these other NHL GMs. We're going to purposely leave off from camp and cut fantastic players who are some of the best in the world and top 10 NHL draft picks because we're smarter than you.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, is that when you do that and then you trot out after the tournament and you say, yeah, we'd pick the same team over again, is essentially what the first press conference was. Then there was so much blowback that they had to come out again and he had to then take the bullets for it. Well, you told us how you felt the first time around. The truth serum, you did that to yourself. You doubled down on the mistakes you made, which just further proves my point about the arrogance. And it's not just Beckett Seneca or Andrew Crystal or all the other guys that could have been there. It was the coaching selection. It was the in-tournament stuff. It was you want to talk about your team being exhausted. You guys ran the longest training camp of any team. leading up to it.
So
You
didn't
guys
practice.
had the best hotel, the best schedule, the best food, the best locker room, the best everything, and it meant nothing.
Yeah, and that's kind of where, like, I don't. When you talk about USA versus Canada, if they took their best players, I still think we should really be watching the best rivalry in the history of hockey potentially in USA and Canada. We're gonna get a taste of the men, all ages, in a couple months or whatever the Four Nations is. And I know people aren't excited, but what makes me excited about that tournament is that we should be watching the two greatest hockey nations on earth go head to head, and the Americans literally trying to topple a country that's dominated the sport since it was invented here.
My point is, if Hockey Canada is not realizing at the junior level that they're getting passed by, just wait, because it's going to catch up at the very best. Just look at the sheer number of American players as percentage of NHL.
Keeps climbing.
It keeps, and I'm not, again, this isn't a USA thing or USA's, but nothing like that at all. There's been a leveling of the playing field here. It's dead nuts even at the junior level, probably, when you consider it right now and moving forward. The US, it's cyclical. You're going to have down years. The US at some point is going to have more teenagers playing in the NHL. The crutch that Canada can hang on is that the Connor Bedards and Macklin Celebrinis are playing in the NHL, and that's great. That'll all change too. But it's changing, and you can't get to the point when you think that you're so good that you can just say, we're going to leave these guys off because we can.
That's the issue. It's not that we don't see that other nations are catching up to Canada. It's that you're losing and finishing fifth and not bringing your best players. That's the part in the arrogance that's got everyone irate. No one's mad at these kids. If you made the team, congrats. It's how does this management team have the audacity to stay out there after 2 years, fifth in a row, and say, yeah, we wouldn't change anything? Like, how bleeping arrogant is that?
But that arrogance, and I don't say that's not, again, not a result thing to gloat. It's that arrogance has pervaded the entire federation.
Yeah.
For decades. Just go back to the sexual assault scandal and everything else that was attached to that. That told you something about the way they operated. And then now they're back like nothing ever happened. And the on-ice part of it is still suffering from the same arrogance that they didn't feel a need to clean house from when they should have then.
Snip, snip.
Good take, Dean. You gotta have. I know you're a big Hockey Canada guy.
Oh,
Can I say something else that really bothered me?
Yeah.
And Rhett, I'd love your take because you've lived on both sides of the border. And I get the whole idea of like, does Michigan cheer for Ohio State? It's just the anti-American sentiment in that building yesterday in Canada, US, Finland kind of bothers me.
Yeah, no one watches that tournament once Canada's out, so we have no idea what you're talking about.
I honestly have no clue what you're talking about. My
So
wife's American, and she
people were
texts me
actively
one.
cheering for Finland and against the US in that.
Well, they were the underdogs. That's a cuter story.
I
think the Americans
you're
are
still
quite-
a big
I
bad
prefaced it with the Michigan-Ohio State thing because, like, a rivalry is a rivalry, and I get it.
Totally.
But if the U.S. isn't in it,
the fans would have
cheering
cheered for
Canada
anybody
all day
playing the
long.
Americans.
100%,
regardless
because they
whether
all
they
were
won.
underdogs,
No,
yeah.
it has nothing to do with
No,
underdogs.
well,
Not
but
underdogs.
okay, that's not. I'll rephrase. The Americans walk around with a swagger that they do at the Olympics and like they do everywhere. It's why Americans
we do with
everywhere
this
cheered
game.
against. Yeah,
Canadians have that with this game of hockey.
it's similar.
We can put in two teams. We're the best.
You're naive.
We
to think that
have
it's
it.
not as high. or
If you
worse.
even look at the 90s with like the Ronix and the Chelios, is like I don't recall Canadians anywhere near that sort
or
of.
just humble
drip.
pie,
What's that?
humble pie.
What are we talking
Gracious winners, just aw shucks, who
about?
us?
No, there's just another like.
I mean, we just talked about it for 5 minutes. You had no argument with Frank's take on the arrogance of the approach from Hockey Canada.
Yeah,
for
it's
this
a
tournament
different
and
area.
for the-
Totally. Yeah, like I think the Federation was incredibly great. I didn't watch the Canadian hockey players and think they're arrogant. Federation absolutely is.
I just when it comes,
Canadians love hating American hockey players. This is a new Frank. What are you?
Well, that's
Were you there in '96?
it's pervasive across the entire NHL. It just, I mean, whether anyone wants to acknowledge it or not, there's still a ton of anti-American sentiment.
Guess that means you're good.
and there's so many of you. You know, there's
A lot
like
of
a couple 100,000 of us up
Well,
here.
plus this new president said he's going to make us the 51st. Like,
Yeah,
come on,
I think Brett's excited.
Coming from guy wearing a Texas hat today.
made our guy quit.
Willie.
Yeah.
Willie.
No, and I think one of the important pieces here is you can't spread the game of hockey in Canada. It's everywhere. The U.S. in the last 20 years done a very good job of getting it into markets that hasn't been.
And I
You've
think
got great teams in Sunbelt that hockey was not a thing 25 years.
numbers alone, the
Participation's
Americans are
way up
going
over
to
the last
take
20
over.
years. Yeah.
Well, I wrote that story on Thanksgiving a few weeks ago about how
Canadian or American Thanksgiving?
U.S. Thanksgiving, the better of the two holidays.
See, there's arrogance again.
You can't even argue that. That just look at the participation numbers alone.
Yeah.
There's 12% fewer Canadian boys playing hockey compared to 10 years ago.
Yeah. Down.
It doesn't sound like a lot, 12%. You're like, oh, okay. But that's, if you add up between Canada and the US, there's like 45,000 fewer players today than there were 10 years ago.
This is maybe too boring and too deep, but you go back far enough, and Canada was really good. I lived it. I grew up in a town of 250 people. What was in that town?
Hockey.
A hockey rink. And what did you do from morning, noon, and you went to the rink? Soon as it was cold enough for the ice to freeze, you lived in the rink. The small towns are smaller. The cost of hockey is staggeringly
That's the biggest
higher. And yes, and of course it's going down.
Yeah, hockey's not getting cheaper. It's not becoming more affordable.
But it's not even growing that much in the US. In that same period of time, it's up 1.9%.
Yeah.
Well,
The reason I
mistrust-
wrote it was to
Okay.
say, as a whole, we need to stop with the US Canada thing and actually find a way to work together to fix it.
All right.
Is he building bridges here, Frank? Are
Look
you
at
a
this.
are you a
I'm
unified?
You want us to be the 51st state too? You're like
You're trying to you're trying to
sucking
hoodwink
us in.
us.
God, this cab, get him out of there.
Make Canada great again.
Maka.
I can't even.
Love can build a bridge.
I think this is actually going to help this tournament that's got no buzz. I really do. In
Yeah,
February.
it's going to be great.
No, but it helps that there's controversy around it. I do. I think.
Do you
that-
think
I
it
think the
adds
rivalry
pressure to Team Canada?
It should, whether they're related or not. It should. It's a federation that could not have its stock any lower. When was a lower time for Hockey Canada's history?
Okay, so then we've it's very convenient and fun to point out everybody's faults. I have two. I'll admit to them. How are we fixing these? Team Canada.
Take your best
Hockey
players.
Canada.
That's an easy one.
Okay.
So that's one fix.
But remember, it was a big thing.
That's a debatable thing, though, right? It's very easy to say, take the best players. Okay, well, who are they?
Well, I mean, I think the junior roster was not hard to debate. They didn't take the best players. But
Well,
I agree
here's the
with you
thing.
philosophically,
That's the thing, though. They said that they did take the best player.
they did.
But
But we're
here's the thing:
fixing it.
if you invite them and then make your team without those players, they didn't even invite them.
Yeah.
So right from the
That- it
start,
was- they were
it was
sending a
like
message.
tainted.
That's my point. Is that they didn't bring the best players? Yeah.
But if you bring the best player, like you say, sometimes
Well,
hey,
who's
best
the
players.
top 10? Who's the number 10 pick in this year's draft? You're going to have teams that have different. And I'm not. I
No, I
don't
agree.
disagree with you. Bring your best players for sure. They didn't do that, and they were deliberate and they were cocky about it. But there will become a point where you go to Timbits hockey or Pee Wee hockey in Calgary, and you're picking the Div 1 6th defenseman or the Div 2 number 1 defenseman. What's the
Oh yeah, no, I get it. If it was one player, I say, look, it's a philosophical thing. But the number of high pedigree players they left for guys that don't have high ceilings, who NHL teams see as potential bottom half of roster players, not top of half, that ratio was way out of whack on this roster, and that's why they took heat, not from media idiots like us, but from scouts and prospects.
That's the best part. It wasn't revisionist history. We
No,
said this from the
everyone crushed
moment the roster, the camp roster came out was you guys are not getting it.
Are we saying this about Team Canada for the Four Nations? Because you could make that argument.
No.
Is that so? Those players on Team Canada are the best players
There's
available.
one or two or three
Well,
guys
that's
you can
what
switch.
What the hell are you talking
That's an
about?
Well, I'm talking about like 9 guys on the junior team, not 3. Edges of rosters is fine. You can substitute a fourth liner and say
see,
philosophically
this is Hockey Canada arrogance.
absolutely
You just said take the best players, except when we decide we're going to need role
I'm
players.
agreeing with you. When you get to the edges of a roster, the difference between that Div 2 number 1 defenseman
And-
or the 6th defenseman in Div 1, like that's just opinion between two different people. The edge of the roster, there should be discussion all the time because it's the edge of the roster. The problem is they didn't bring guys that should have been their core players.
Are you saying 9 players? You said 9.
Okay, Zane Perrick not making that team's absolutely insane.
It is.
Crystal
and Beckett's Beckett Seneca not
I'm
getting
talking
an
about the
Misa,
Four Nations
Beckett.
team. And yours,
I don't think there's an
Can we
egregious
find-
omission there. Like there was there. I bet you there's. I
What-
honestly think there's 9.
How did we end up with the non sequitur of Four Nations? What does that have to do with this?
Well, he's just
Why is
asking if the same issues have plagued the national.
I'm
team.
saying is the same issues for Hockey Canada in the junior. This selection is Anthony Seravalli. Is that his name?
Yeah.
The top guy, like
If you want a shutdown checking center, he belongs.
that's
to
the point,
That's
though,
so
Ryan. They're saying
philosophically.
they're filling spots for roles, not taking the best player.
Canada did not leave. Well, I mean, look, they didn't take Evan Bouchard. Is that maybe that's the Zane Perrick comparable? I'll give you that. Yeah, like there's just much less consternation about that roster. Like, what did you moan about when it
Till
came?
they
Nothing.
lose.
Right, but that's the difference. It's
Yeah.
hindsight's always 2020. The junior roster got crushed when
This
selection
isn't going to be
camp.
hindsight with Hockey Canada and the World Junior team. It's not. It was foresight. It was quite literally we wrote and said then, how do you not even invite some of these guys to camp? Like let them battle it out at least. And then if you want to pick your team and you say, hey, we had 2 weeks of hockey here and this is what we went with, we'd say, sure, by all means. That was foresight, not hindsight. This time around, with whatever happens at Four Nations, there's not going to be any second guessing, I don't think, of the team that was picked. It was to your point, Pinder or Rhett, what we're trying to come up with is like the plausible range of like, are you within the circle of like, does that make sense?
Mhm.
And every single player that was picked, even if you want to make the argument for a Hyman or Bouchard or whoever it might be that was left off, Bedard, whoever. The guys that made it, they were all still damn good players. And that's the other part of this World Junior tournament is because then the back part of it is, oh, well, you're shitting on these players and they're just teenagers. And that's not actually what we're doing here.
No.
It's all on management and coaching staff.
Agreed. Yeah, the coaching staff is. I don't know that you could have had a worse tournament. You have no practices. You talk about how tired you guys are after you built the camp leading into it. You cancel game day skate. You don't put teammates on the same line that literally are lighting up junior hockey together.
And then
You
when
don't give
after
your
the tournament
highest
have gone
skilled
back to
player-
lighting it up.
You don't give your highest skilled player a look on their top line until you're down 3-1 in an elimination game. You have one of the worst challenges for a goal that you knew wasn't going to overturn with international officiating. Like Dave Cameron, we got the Mars mission for you, buddy. We can't have you in hockey. This is too important. We need civilization in space. You're going to be the first guy from Canada. Fly the flag for us. You're off to Mars. See ya.
Boom, you didn't even need to come in today.
That's some hot takery right there. Some
It's hot planet. We need our
sizzling
best.
hot take-a-tude.
Feel like that might be clipped.
Maybe.
But honestly, like, could you have had a worse tournament for Dave Cameron?
No,
It's
Ryan,
awful.
You could
That's
not.
why the quote
Awful.
from Stephen Ellis was so good. I don't know if you guys saw it, but
Yeah, we
Yeah.
saw
he
it.
got a message from an NHL
Yeah, we
coach or
saw it.
scout that said,
Yeah,
Don't.
I
we
wouldn't
got
trust Dave Cameron to run a McDonald's drive.
3 a.m. when it's empty.
Ah.
Packers this weekend. How do you feel?
Ooh.
Not great. You know, it's
Really?
the NFC is stacked. The AFC's got a bunch of chumps. Like, I'm sorry, like
Say
the
it. Don't you say
Don't
it.
you-
Don't
Jack
you
is
say it.
there. He's about to get
Steelers don't scare me, bud.
Oh,
the
Jack.
Steelers are shit.
Jack.
Come on.
The Steelers are dead.
Oh, Jack, no.
What happened? Full circle.
That's criminal.
Fucking dead.
Oh.
Jack. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, Steelers, clown show. Broncos, not good. Packers, pretty good.
They
First
played in
half.
week 1. That was in Brazil. Do you remember it? It was a wild
I
game.
do. It was a
14 to
crazy game.
41.
They
Yeah.
actually probably shouldn't have won that game. Hurts
Yeah.
had like 2 or 3 picks. It was not good. And that's kind of probably why I don't feel that good about it. But I'm very excited.
Yeah.
It's going to be cold. It's going to be awesome.
Where
And
are
then
your
if they
seats?
win,
Where are your seats?
if they win, they could get the Bucks in round 2.
You like that?
I do.
Sure.
I don't love a Todd Bowles defense coming at you, but I like that matchup.
I think the Eagles have kind of been that team that hasn't gotten the respect they deserve all season. Start of the year, they weren't winning by enough. Oh, but did you see? Then they snuck it out at the end. Their defense has been great. Saquon has been unbelievable.
What would be the NHL equivalent?
Well, it's tough because Saquon, I mean, truly, he's got an MVP caliber guy.
I'd say Vegas. Like, does anyone know that Vegas is like
Washington?
6 in a row.
far and away points percentage wise better than everyone else?
Yeah, it's brutal.
Hate it.
It's brutal.
As long as they beat Edmonton, I'm okay with
I
it.
dreamt I was in Vegas last night.
Did you? I was thinking about it today.
Were you wearing
Dreamt I was
pants?
in Vegas.
Oh, it's wild card weekend. That's my
big
favorite.
party. I'll tell you that. Look out.
Frank, let's go to Vegas.
How hammered were you yesterday?
Really, really hammered.
In the dream or both?
In the dream.
Yeah.
I wasn't really.
Do you have weird dreams when you drink?
Rye January, Frank. Was
Right.
Well played.
January.
Yeah.
Thanks, Frank.
See you guys.
Appreciate you. There he is, Frank Seravalli, our hockey insider. On the Crystal Waters Insider Hotline, Crystal Waters Plumbing and Heating, your crystal clear choice for home comfort. Call 403-219-4100 or check them out at crystalclearcalgary.com.
or come to my house next week. They'll be there.
They'll be there. I was just trying to think of the things that have gotten into Pinder's craw and have stuck there for a while. Like, I don't know what the
This could
shelf
go in-
life of
this
the
could go
Dave
in the
Cameron
back- this
thing
could go in
is,
the backpack.
but it's
I saw
It's a
him
good
stand behind the
reference.
bench looking like some thumb that was lost at a bus stop. And I'm like, no, this ass hat is back. No.
because remember for a long time it was Brandon Bolig and how good a
That was
shape he was in,
hurtful.
and that whole thing that stuck around. And then
The
there was
Brouwer
the
play.
Troy Brouwer.
The Brouwer play. And God bless Troy, wonderful human. Take that money.
Love having in Calgary.
Great
Troy.
agent.
Love having you here.
I didn't think that was hurtful.
That was
very
hurtful?
nice,
Whoa.
and then he has the audacity to, no, I wouldn't change anything. Everything was perfect.
Yeah, that's dig up stupid for sure. That
really is an
Change
easy
anything?
that
No.
really is an easy answer, right? Well, we finished 5th.
yeah, clearly with the
Again,
results.
Second year row finishing 5th. Would you change
We
it?
were hoping to do better.
And then they're like, well, this tournament, there's 4 or 5 teams. No, stop right there. If you bring your best and lose and you play well and you actually have a coach with a plan, okay, that can be a one-off.
Yeah.
You can't not bring really, really high-end guys, not score, and then seem surprised about it.
I love the
Switzerland scored the exact same amount in the tournament. That's
Again-
insane.
And again, it's not your brilliance. It's finding how do you not play those guys together? Like teammates that are lighting up.
it up.
Yeah.
Well, if this guy comes in, we'll take this guy out.
Why is he there? Well, they showed good chemistry together in junior. Oh, is he going to play him? Probably not.
It's like you're bringing Devin Taves to this Four Nations. You're not going to play him with McCarr. No, you're playing him with McCarr.
Yeah, so
That's why he's there.
Kunitz comes with Crosby.
Yes.
They didn't play together. No, they're going to play together. They're really good together.
It's almost humorous.
It is.
Like,
No, I mean, I like watching Pinder go off, but it's, yeah. Right from the start, we said it. If you're going to have a controversial roster,
Yeah.
and the thing is, invite list.
Yeah.
Even if everybody shows up and you pick a different team, you could,
Merit.
camp was short. Maybe he was, whatever. You didn't invite some high caliber players. You're right or not, you're going to be scrutinized, and it's like, you better win.
Yeah.
And they did not.
No.
And along the
Close.
way, didn't look good. It's not like they
No.
got upset or they lost to Latvia. They squeaked by the Germans. They got blown out by the Americans. They
Odd
just,
choosing of team, odd training camp, odd no practice, odd coaching decisions, terrible result.
and travel. No, there's no excuse.
Schedule. No.
Yeah, you had it set up for
Yeah,
you.
the moment that team actually was playing its best hockey, the coach decided to make an idiotic challenge on an obvious non-goal and kill the momentum. That was a perfect tournament in the nutshell. Just when nope, we'll get in our own way here. Hang on one sec.
Jack,
We know better than everyone else.
Reach out to Dave Cameron and see.
Yeah. Reach out to
minutes will be-
SpaceX too. Let's get them out there.
Or Salmon. Scott's around. Go, Scott.
Stop the hammering.
We got to move on.
Yeah, we do.
We probably
To
need
what?
Oh, the Pinder Report.
We're gonna talk more about
It's just more of the same.
No, it's not. We're done.
Ah.
Friday we went 2 barrels.
Wait till you see the numbers I've got and how little the Flames are scoring.
They're playing well. They can't get 4 though.
No. Well, 4 is a lot.
It's a lot.
Guys, we
Nobody's
just-
averaging 4, right?
Middle of the pack is 3. The Caps, not even at 1 now. Maybe we just need to
Get that kid from LA.
Talk about that.
Yeah, all right. We'll do the Pinder Report. A presentation of Village Honda. Do you see that ridge line? It's always parked out front.
Beautiful.
It's nice.
Stop pissing on its tires.
Yeah. I could probably run it through a car wash.
That thing's put on some miles.
Jeez.
Can't ask us yesterday.
Yeah.
Almost done entertaining.
The Honda Ridgeline, convenience of an all-wheel drive pickup, SUV type deal, but the comfort and smooth ride of a sedan. It's a truck. It's an SUV. It's beautiful. Car and Driver magazine ranked the interior of the Ridgeline tops in its class in terms of practicality and comfort. And you're practical and comfy.
Not for you.
That's your deal. Right now is the time. Get up to Village Honda. Say hi. Get yourself into a new Ridgeline today. Northwest Auto Mall. Online at villagehonda.com. And they Pinder Report.
Thank you, boys. Let's head over to Flames Nation. See what the heck's going on. Yeah, still talking about the World Series.
Oh,
I
good.
guess that, don't need to go there. We did that. And then, yes, if you want, you can revisit the that's probably an old screenshot I got. It was a different non-playoff team they lost to on Saturday. That
They were
would
called
be
Nashville.
the Predators.
Same
Old
results.
screenshot. Yeah.
Still a good article, though.
Yeah, Flash.
If you have some time today, I know Mondays are busy.
Mm-hmm.
Read that one and then read the latest.
Now, these standings are the latest. Let's go to them, Jack. The current standings of the NHL. They're the Flames. Plucky indeed. A game in hand held by the Canucks, only 1 point back of them. And yeah, you're kind of in the St. Louis, Utah
Pile
neighborhood
of
as
muck.
well. So again, before we started the year, it was, okay, guys, now here's the thing about your first round pick. If it's in the top 10, you get to keep it.
Real
Right.
good.
There's your cutoff. Everything above that yellow hash is not a top 10 pick. So it looks like they're a long way away, but in actuality, 4 points.
Detroit's coming on.
So you
4
want to be
points.
you want to be below the yellow.
We get below the yellow, we turn this thing upside down, we
And
sing
you
Tina
get to
Turner.
keep it.
You get to keep it.
But today, if the season ended,
They would not be keeping it, they'd be sending it to Montreal.
did you see was it Emil Heineman or whatever?
Emil,
He's got 10 goals.
off traded Emil Heineman. Off thrown in.
I don't know who
And-
that person is.
Well, I
We
think
got
he
him
was
in
in
the
the
Sam Bennett deal.
he was in the Toffoli deal.
Where in
Is
Montreal?
that what it was? Yeah.
Oh,
Traded him to Montreal and he's got 10 goals and
And they got him in the
Yeah.
Bennett deal.
Yeah.
Bennett to Florida, 2 seconds, and Emil Heineman.
then shipped him to Montreal and gotta give him
He's
another-
their Justin Kirkland. Who
and gonna
knows?
give him a first. It's worked out well for Montreal.
Yeah, if you really want to sit back and weaponize
good
your cap
stat.
space and collect picks, you
Yeah,
can do that.
'cause
go
Monahan
take
went
on a
there.
Monahan and get paid a first.
Played well for them. Then they traded him and got more for him.
Well, he played poorly, got hurt, then they re-signed him. Then he played well, traded him to Winnipeg for a first.
results are the same.
They got 2 firsts
They
for
doubled
taking
it.
on Monahan
Double dipped.
and a Heineman from the other deal. Yeah. All right.
Good job, Montreal.
And they climbed out of the basement. They were dead last for a while. They're
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
out of the bottom 10 now. How about that?
Good for them.
Line,
Happy
eh?
for them, yeah.
Oh,
Happy
Doug
for
is
them.
Schedule looks like this. Get ready for some road games, boys. 8 of their next 10 on the road. Hey, Dean, how are the Flames on the road?
Well, if you'd like to know,
It's 10
They played
games.
17 on the road. How many wins do you think they have?
That's every other day, you guys.
looks like 5.
They have 5 road wins in 17 games. Now, they have gotten overtime points in 4. 5, 8, and 4 in 17 road games. 8 of 10 on the road. There are some weaker teams. There's a lot of the same team here. They will
Ooh,
play
there's some-
the Kings twice in a row, the
Would
Blues
Nashville-
twice in a row.
Would
Winnipeg
Nashville have been a
twice.
weaker team?
we don't do well against weaker teams, really.
Utah, where they're below the Flames in the
Montreal.
standings. That would
Bubble,
be
bubble.
Montreal.
Play Winnipeg twice. They're good.
What was that road trip? Pittsburgh,
yeah. Pittsburgh, Columbus.
Detroit.
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Detroit.
1 point.
Ooh.
In St. Louis, back to back. Big.
Yeah.
Oof. Big. Real big.
This
dude.
feels like a COVID schedule.
Yow!
They're going to play 2 games in a row.
This
in St.
does
Louis?
not look good, actually. They got to go out to LA. California.
Yeah.
Play back to back. Okay, fine. Come back, play LA, who's better than I would have ever expected again.
Yeah.
And then hit the road,
Jack.
come home for one, and then head to Chicago. Head east, Dean, to Chicago.
Dean.
That's a lot of time zones there, right? So like you're
6 of 7 on the road. They come back for one measly home game.
Chicago on a Monday. That is not going to get you wound up. Sorry. And then St. Louis back to back. St. Louis, if you look at the standings there, right behind them.
Where are you sending it Tuesday night in St. Louis? Is there a good place to go in St. Louis?
No, you're very stabby.
Stabby. Can I
Oh.
stand?
Go to Kachuk's house. Walt will take care.
Not Stabby? Punchy. Punchy at Kachuk's house. Not Stabby.
Walt's a good guy.
Walt's
He would. He'd invite you in.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
would. You're welcome, Rhett.
Invite your beer? Yeah, that'd be great.
What are you guys doing here? Yeah, come on in.
Come on, boys.
We would have appreciated a text, but all right, come on in.
I got a fridge fully stocked for situations
come on
just
in.
like this. Yeah.
Yes. And then Winnipeg? Oh, boy.
2 with Winnipeg, 2 with the Ducks, 2 with the Kings, 2 with the Blues, all in the next.
They're happy with because it's going to happen twice. Again, we're just getting way off the rails.
Yeah.
So it's road trip, come back, play one home game,
Yeah.
back on the
up.
road,
Right where you were.
come home, play one home game against the Sabres, then back to
on the road.
Minnesota.
You know what, though? Sabres. Cakewalk.
Okay, right now, as we sit here, sorry, I'm kind of hijacking.
10 gamer? No, that's good. 10 game stretch. How many points?
It starts to what? How does this month play out? Do we have this?
Throw it up again.
If you can throw the, so it's Ducks, Kings this week, Hawks, Blues, Jets, Sabres, Wild.
So by the end,
I guess we could throw that. I'm just looking at. I'm trying to
out of
find
the
a,
next.
just a number that we
Yeah.
can wrap our head around.
How many points are we getting?
Yeah.
Well, Husk is much like Dave Cameron, been riding these guys
Oh,
way too hard.
jeez.
They're exhausted.
That is
Four.
a 4-letter word. You call anyone a Dave Cameron, I'll clobber you.
I think they're only getting 5
5 wins, 5 points.
points.
I think there's 3 wins in there. You got the
So
Ducks,
6.
the Blackhawks, and the Sabres. That, maybe one of them stuns you, but you could also get one against the Blues.
Do you split the Blues? Can you split the Kings?
You probably can get a loser point against Kings. I don't know about the split.
Okay.
They did blank them nearly the other time. That replay on the Wolf. It was a.
It's always good to also, Dean.
Uh,
It's always good to publicly say they'll be terrible.
right.
yeah.
And then head down to the rink and ask why everyone's
Yeah.
mad at you.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
good.
And then they shove it right. You took us and win a bunch of games and put up a bunch of points.
4-5-1.
Probably sounds about right.
That would give you 9 points
3-5-2.
out of 20.
1, 2.
I got 3-5-2. Scratch it out. I like that a lot. That'd be 8 points.
Yeah. It feels kind of like a 3 to 4 win stretch here.
They
What
keep
are they
picking
at?
some loser
I
points.
don't remember back in the day we used to say scheduled losses, but it feels like there's a lot of scheduled losses.
Well, let's look at it. Where would your scheduled loss be? Pull it back up. Sorry.
One of these games, I actually think Anaheim.
There's 2 back-to-backs in there. Right?
Don't love the Kings on the second
the
half.
second half.
It's the
no
Jets
good.
on the 26th. That's your scheduled loss. It's your 3rd game in 4 nights. It's the second half of a back-to-back with travel.
Yes.
3rd game in 3 different time zones.
I think the Kings
That
on
sounds
this Wednesday. I think for sure the Blues after Chicago, and the Jets are scheduled losses.
And then there's
There
just
will add on losses.
yeah, and then when it's not scheduled, Winnipeg and Minnesota still very good teams that could well
Back
be
to
losses. Hey, you know what, guys? Prove us wrong.
Hey, can you
Good
say
on.
the team they play after Winnipeg there?
At the bottom,
Yeah.
they get Washington.
Oh man.
First game back from a road trip, too. Perfect.
Yeah.
And then they get the Ducks and the Wings.
Capitals,
January,
sir.
eh?
Are the Capitals still
Caps
good?
are legit, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So 3rd in the league. There's Winnipeg, 2nd, Washington, 3rd, Minnesota, 4th.
I went to the old Bet365 to look.
Oh yeah.
The Jack Adams trophy. I'm like, I bet you this Spencer Carberry is good a shot. Minus 250.
Oh.
The field
Oh,
plus
jeez.
170. Oh, jeez.
You thought you were being smart.
Not sneaky at all. They were already ahead of me.
How are the Kings the 6th overall team in the
They
league?
played very, very well.
Holy
Structure, Dean.
Holy
They've got
Dinah.
Great
And-
structure.
Hang on. This without Drew Doughty, who is going to return.
Because I remember at the start that's one of those teams. I don't know.
Don't know what there.
Well,
Are
they
they
got
young or
rid of
they
that guy that hated being there, and they all hated.
Who got the prior coach fired? Yeah.
Yeah. So
Who's
that's
now in Washington. Life's much better.
really
He's doing
good.
great there.
Yeah.
East Coast. They're pulling on that rope together.
What is it?
Watch his acting here. This is phenomenal stuff, Dean.
I'm into it today.
I see
Got
that.
up early and work.
Pierre-Luc Dubois does have 5 goals in 39 games.
No, but he's been playing top line,
30 and 39. That's better than it's been.
30 points in 39 games.
Yeah.
That's
and
just fine.
he's your number one checking center there. He's doing a lot of heavy lift. Those are really good numbers for what he's asked to do.
Alexei Protas,
He's having a monster year.
33.
And Japan, he's
It's
having a
the
nice
Pinder
bounce
Report.
back.
Let's shut
Dylan
up. Dean.
Strome, 44 and 39. Would you guess that?
Nope.
44
Stop hitting him.
goals?
And this Ovechkin guy's good. Hey,
Well-
Ryan,
We'll get to him.
back to you.
I don't know if we'll actually get to this before it actually happens, but waivers, fellas, waivers. Arthur Kaliev, you were a very high-scoring junior player who slid to the second round, and our boy Bobby Germany doing one of these, Steve. Doing one of these.
You know, I didn't picture Bob Germany looking the way Bob Germany does.
What'd you see in your mind?
Yeah, what was
I
it?
saw way more nerdy. Way more nerdy.
So he was less nerdy than you thought.
Yeah, kind of a normal dude.
Yeah, seems
Very
very
normal.
normal.
Yeah.
Way
It's
to go,
a guy you
Bob.
could have beer with.
Hey, babe, Bob.
That boy, Bobby Germany. Anyway, he's pitching. They should claim him. The issue being, I feel like,
Looks happy.
no, not really. No.
Oh.
Hey,
he's
Art,
played 5 games this year.
cheer up, dude.
Sit.
6'2", 210, winger,
Are
23.
you kidding me?
Scored 14. Pick him up.
102 points with the Hamilton Bulldogs.
That's
Hey,
well.
Connie.
Want me to call
Hey,
my boy
Con-
Jay McKee? Get
Where-
the goods on him?
Where is he from? Little Uzbekistan?
Oh, you
I'm going to go.
Back.
Would he be the first Uzbekistani to play for the Flames?
It was back. Not very nice.
Not nice, my wife.
Kazakhstan number 1. Uzbekistan last.
Uzbekistan. That's a new one, right?
No, that stand's been there forever. A lot of stands up there.
Has it?
Oh, yeah.
You got to get over to the Eastern Bloc.
gotta get to the stands, Dean. They
Stop
love you in the
worrying
stands.
About Chicago in February, the Eastern Bloc, great spot.
Get to the
visit.
stands.
The Baltic region?
No, it's not for the no. It's the stands.
I got to figure this out.
Kaliev has scored at prior levels. Kaliev had actually like a 20-goal prorated season 2 years ago. He has not played for the Kings.
Prorated. I love
I played
prorated.
56 games, 13 goals. I mean, that's a good. You start saying, oh, that's 82. I don't know. Here's the thing. He scores. Here's the other thing. He drives coaches nuts. I feel like this team already has one of those guys that's not scoring.
Guys, Uzbekistan,
Yeah.
Central Asia,
Yeah.
surrounded by 5 countries. Kazakhstan,
Mhm.
Kyrgyzstan,
Kyrgyzstan, yeah. Banger.
Tajikistan,
Tajikistan. Love Tajik. It's great on the rim.
Afghanistan,
Stan.
Turkmenistan.
Stands, baby. Did I tell you it was the stands?
Holy jumping. They've cornered the market and stands over there.
A lot of
High
stands.
fives.
A lot of
Whoa.
stands. Very nice.
Now, are there only 5 stands, or is that
That
just
was
the
6
5?
right there.
That's just who they're neighboring.
That's just their pals.
Yeah.
It's just the next door neighbors.
Holy crap.
I was like, George Foreman had 13 kids, named like 12 boys George.
Get ready for it. It's one of only 2 doubly landlocked countries on Earth, the other being Liechtenstein.
I've
Doubly
never been to
landlocked.
Liechtenstein. I've always wanted to.
You know what doubly landlocked means?
That's the Western Bloc team. Liechtenstein.
Doubly landlocked?
So all the countries around you also are landlocked.
So you're not going for a dip.
There's not a lot of
You're looking for lakes, Dean.
You don't
lot
need a
of
surfboard.
channels.
You like lakes over oceans anyway.
What do you own a paddleboard for? You live in Uzbekistan, idiot.
Dean,
Back to you.
back
Ryan.
to me. Don't expect a claim from Kaliev on the Flames.
Don't expect me to be part of the show. I am enthralled now.
Don't expect Dean to not start taking checks from the Uzbekistani Department of Tourism right away.
The territories of the Turamid dynasty were conquered by the Kipchak Shaybanids in the 16th century.
Ah, those Shabanids. They'll get you.
Secular state.
It's Shabanized.
Is that what's going to be up for us? What's up for us now?
Oh, but we got to.
Are you running?
I might.
Attaboy.
Throw my name in the hat.
Yeah, good.
Did you say Trump put out a message already?
No, did he? I haven't. I saw the Canadian dollar jump a half cent at like midnight. You're like, oh, there's some news.
It's so good. And I don't want to do it on this show because it's
Why?
not about politics.
No, but we're not treating this as neither is politics is not about politics either. It's about showmanship. Let's hear it.
Trump says hey,
Can you do it in his voice for us, please?
well, I got to find the message first. It's a beautiful thing.
So
He was very unpopular. You got horrible ratings.
Well, he saw these tariffs coming, and that's why he quit. Basically, is kind of.
Oh, yeah. Trump
And
did it.
you know what?
yeah.
Canadians,
Trump did that,
they
yeah.
want to be the
Yeah, see, this
51st
is
state.
proof. There it is.
They'd be free of all the tariffs and all
Frank,
that.
how he's talking?
Yeah.
He's got us
Frank
dialed
was
in.
trying to suck us in too. This unity nonsense.
Not friggin' Frank.
Friggin' Frank.
Listen, you changed my money to American. I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah, can we do par?
Yeah, not doing that.
Switch even par?
Do you know it was well above par at one point in our lives?
I
I know.
did, Ryan,
Actually,
and I
twice.
could have bought a lot of things with that money.
Yeah, you should have too. And you were close, but then you didn't.
Yeah, just why would you? Back to you, Ryan.
Back to me, guys. Frank Vitrano, Frank the Tank, the Pizza Man's got a new deal. A one-time attendee of a Flames development camp, carved out a nice little career scoring goals. But here's the thing.
You'll love this, Rhett.
He's got some deferred money. It's a 3-year, $18 million deal, but he'll get $3 million a year in base. And then 10 years from now, $900,000 a year for a decade. His plan to not live in California and its tax system. The Ducks, meanwhile, will benefit because the present value of future money is lower, giving them a lower cap hit. It's a creative way for both the team and the player to make it work and perhaps show other players the way how to deal with the California tax issue.
Exactly. These guys are getting smart. Oh, the tax benefits in Vegas and Nashville.
And screw you, California.
Yes, F you, California.
It's like a Bobby Bonilla thing.
Schwarzenegger.
Love a good Bobby Bonilla thing.
Hey?
$1 million a year. Happy Canada Day,
Seven-
Bobby.
And you know what's great about that? You're not going to go buy a bunch of schnee and waste it all.
No, it
That's
forces
what
you to
I-
ration a little
yeah.
bit, to have a
I'm gonna-
budget.
I'm making a very good living, but not so much that I'm going to end up in a dumpster with a hooker.
And needles in your arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll move. That's the Otani plan, by the way. I think stop
The
thinking that.
dumpster and the.
No,
In
the,
the-
the deferred salary
hookers?
and the lower money. No,
Jeez,
he
I
didn't
never
admit
saw that.
They've been-
It is-
apparently, I'm being
Otani.
told this, just actually the oldest profession in the world.
Just proves
know
you,
that.
you think you know a guy. I wouldn't have guessed that
No, I
Shohei
didn't
would be
see that.
running with
He
that.
did have
ilk.
that $1 billion gambling debt that I think his agent who made $10 a day was.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
Me? No. That's him.
We had a couple fails on the hockey rinks, fellas, and we got to highlight them. You got to clean it up, boys. First off, Boston. Is it a drinky city or not a drinky city?
It's drinking.
It's a splashy, drippy, drinky city. You got to do a better job if you're chugging a beer. Boston. No.
Oh,
No. 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 Sir, leave the building. It's awful. It's leaning the wrong way. It's spilling
guys,
everywhere.
he doesn't know how to
So-
shotgun a beer.
That's your first shotgun. I've
He's
never seen it go
trying.
worse.
He's trying.
Whew. That's the Dave Cameron of beer shotguns right
oh
there.
boy.
Backpack.
Let's head over to the. It's officially entrenched in the backpack. That's right at the top too. So anytime I open it, it's right there.
It's right there.
Off to the KHL. You ever seen this happen, Rhett? There goes my cell phone. Whoopsies. Let's watch it again. Here's the ref saying, "Okay, whose
phone is this?
who's sexting from the bench?"
That's mine.
Oh, that's
thanks.
my. Let's.
My wife's in
My
labor.
wife, labor.
You're cut.
You better be a goal scorer, son.
I don't like the You got to get the flip phone. You got these phones that you get doing.
Yeah.
Get in your brain. You get addicted to it.
Yeah, you don't want that.
My wife's in labor. You're not even married. What are you talking about?
Sorry, you didn't know about this wife. Okay, we'll move on. The World Junior Finals. Frank said it was already happened.
Yeah, I think so. Yesterday.
My wife's a Yank, and she was
My wife.
bragging about it.
America's number one countries.
You don't even know what hockey like.
Poor shuffler.
Football fan.
They did pick Freebird as their goal song.
I love it.
Let's hear it.
Look, I don't want to be that guy.
Listen, I mean, play this. What are they taking down?
It's probably That's what your wife's doing right now. Just rip the top off. It's happening.
Whoever makes that call, because I don't think it's one of those young lads,
If it is, even more respect to him.
tip of the cap. Because for the rest of their lives, they're going to be just the American team picking Freebird
Unbelievable.
for their goal
not
song.
about the win or the
I
team,
mean,
the song.
Hey, look, they were the best team there.
Yeah.
They
How do you
deserve to
know
win.
that?
Best team.
We watched the tournament and they won it. They're the
Oh,
best team.
Congratulations.
That Finnish goalie was good.
Yeah, not good enough. One more save would have helped. Did you
Was
see the bronze medal game? Are you going to talk about it?
Oh, God, no.
14 rounds in a shootout?
What?
Yeah. Czechia beat the Swedes 14 rounds.
Wow. Good work,
Pinder
Chet.
Report.
That goes to show you how
That could have
the
taken
high-end skill that's out there.
could have taken our whole day. We wouldn't have had to talk at all if you'd have just played that.
Burying the body today, though. Let's get into some stuff. Okay, tonight's NHL slate. We got a few games, Jackie. What do they look like? What do we got going on? Oh, look at this. There it is.
It's a light slate.
It is the Ovechkin chasing greatness. He scored, twice since we last spoke? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, 4 goals in 5 games since coming
23
back.
goals away.
Nephew's going to watch that.
Is he?
Good tickets available. Good seats available.
Yep.
Yeah, very good seats available. What do we got here? Vancouver, Montreal. What are you thinking?
What the hell's going on? Why didn't we ask somebody that knows something about Vancouver again? Like I know it's getting
Well, we
old.
talked on Friday. We talked
And
to Drakes.
Just
about
I
it.
know, but we had another
But it's-
to
person.
get people up to speed, the latest is that the Canucks are playing out scenarios where they trade Pettersson, trade Miller, trade them both, or trade neither. It's Jim Rutherford's shop. They're going to be calling everyone.
If Pettersson's available, are you buying?
I would be very intrigued at what the price would be because it would be a lot, but you don't come across 26-year-old centers.
Who was the
With
guy in
lots of turn.
Buffalo?
Eichel was there.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't the same spot, but there was fatigue in the market. The organization and the player weren't eye to eye. There was some naysayers about, he's not this, he's not that. And then he probably went and won a cup and looks like one of the best centers in the NHL. It's not the exact same.
It's heaven and earth.
Would you? Despite
Sometimes you got to take a stab at these things.
despite the notion and the reputation of him maybe being a bit soft.
Listen. That.
Good point by you. Ryan, back to you.
What did he do when he said that?
He's kind of
I nodded.
a knowing nod.
So he does want him or doesn't want him?
I
Does.
want him. Pick him up, Connie.
Yeah.
The hell's a young centerman that we got? We got decades without.
So put on your Connie hat. Put on your Connie
I
wig.
don't even know all the players on the team.
I know. I mean, it's going to cost you some of those picks for
I would
sure.
think you would need
Would
to
you
be
be
fine.
fine?
Do they like Nazem Kadri? That would make things easier.
No.
They don't?
Well,
I
I mean,
think
sure,
they
but
would.
I'm not gonna. It's not gonna factor in as far as a. I mean,
Oh.
I'll pay. I'll give you a. Yeah,
Oh,
like,
yeah. Just like the
Not
Kuzmenko was
straight
kind
up,
of.
no.
yeah, like that's fine.
No, but it would be multiple first prospects and a player.
I think Kadri's a great fit for that.
I think it'd be, especially if you're moving a center out. Like if Nazem Kadri's your number 2 center, you're real good. The last place we saw it, they lifted the cup. It was Colorado.
But we know as we sit here that deal would be the Flames having to give them something to take Kadri.
Not necessarily. If they're
Term.
moving Elias Pettersson, who's their second best center, they need to get a center.
No, I understand that, but
Yeah.
don't mistake the facts. The
Which
guy
are-
is old and has a ton left on his deal.
Yeah. So you think there's no value there? It's a loss for them.
I
to have-
still believe
they
that the
would
Flames
prefer
are,
a deal without Kadri than with.
for the Flames to trade Nazem Kadri, they are having to include another asset for a team to
I
take.
think it's
I
turning a
don't know
little
about
bit.
that. I would have agreed to this at prior.
I think it depends on what you're hoping to
Junctures.
get in return for.
Canucks
in
are trying to
that
win
deal.
today. He helps that.
That's my point with the.
I agree.
You're being silly.
Okay. Cap's going up a ton. $7 million isn't that much.
The other thing is that I think it's a bigger.
It's part of a huge deal.
Well, I
where
get
You're
it.
going to have to bring in a center. So maybe you use the picks you get back to go get another center. Maybe the center's right there. Maybe the Flames eat $1 million. But I don't think it's a slam dunk that isn't something they'd like to do. If you're moving out a top 2 center, you absolutely want to get another one back in. if you're
Kadri
trying to
might
win.
be in there if they're moving PD wherever the hell he goes. Kadri might be a guy that they're interested in.
I agree. Now the contract is
And
owners.
I would
We
think-
agree on that.
And I would think that you eat some of that contract,
And move it
Connie,
right along.
quit being a cheap prick, and get some real value back.
But they would want much more than that, to your point.
Come on, fellas.
I think
mean-
you're drunk.
I think this is This is Ryan with his Flames goggles on, hoping and wishing. Oh no, this would be if it was the scenario was different. You'd be like, the guy's 36 years old. He's got 9 years left on his deal. What are you talking about?
He's got 5 years left on his deal. Or 4 after this.
And it's not, which is not to say that Kadri hasn't been good. He has been. He's been a good Flame, aside from whatever it was, the first 8 games of last year before Zary and Pospisil showed up.
And the first year was a disaster.
But if Kadri's $5 million, even if it is for 5 more years,
he's a massively valuable asset. If he's $5 million,
he's not as good as Backlund. Backlund's making 4.5.
Make no mistake. But in the real world, where general managers are dealing.
Yes, but general managers also want to win the cup.
I know.
And general managers will go, you know what? This could be the difference between hoisting and not. Right?
What is Nazem?
Yes, it's great. I don't have to make this deal, but we're going up against the Edmonton Oilers. And somehow, some way, we're going to have to either shut them down or score with them. We have to be able to compete.
So how did Nazem Kadri go from untradeable to now being a very attractive asset?
I'm not saying he's very.
I would say 2 things.
I'm not going at you.
No, it's fair because I would have said 2 years ago you can't move this thing. It's impossible.
Not even 2 years ago.
Well, that was the first year where we watched one of his worst performances ever. They missed the playoffs. The team was a disaster. Last year, he scores what, 29, 30? 29.
Yeah.
He's a good number 2 center. He's worth the money he's getting paid right now. The issue is the contract term. So if you're in a spot where the next 3 years are crucial and you might not be around for year 4 or 5, which are the last 2 years, if you're counting this year, he's got 5 years on after this year 4, you can say Nazem Kadri helps us in the short term and not be wrong. But I understand your point.
You would be telling, if I was making the argument, you'd be saying, who's a contender that has $7 million in cap space?
Colorado.
Well, at least Pettersson makes 11.6.
We're saying it's $5 million in cap space.
You literally are saving $5 million and getting better production than you're getting from Pettersson.
You don't need to sell me on the fit.
It's a good fit.
You need to. We've had this conversation for years. We've been doing this show for decades. It feels like, and this is absolutely one of those scenarios where you would be saying, the term, there's nothing you can do with it.
And
because his play is elevated from awful doesn't make it any less easy to move.
So I would have said you couldn't move Blake Coleman's contract 2 years ago as well. And I think you absolutely could do it now. The other part that I didn't mention is that the cap is set to make an enormous jump, the likes of which we haven't seen in the last decade. Like, they're going to have a decision whether it's this year that they share some of the future cap growth or wait till the CBA expires and it could jump as much as $20 million.
Well, I'll say this.
Start looking at a $7 million player as if it's a $4.5 to $5 million.
If I'm wrong, and I'm happy to be wrong, then this needs to be priority 1 for Craig Conroy. If you can get something for $7 million mid-30 Nazem Kadri right now, don't play him another fucking game. Trade him right now.
They're not going to trade anyone until this team falls out of the race further than they are, but I think it will happen. And I do think, to all of our points, it's a much easier deal to make if he's making 5 or 6 than 7. And the problem with that is that's where you get out of Connie decision-making and into the owner thing. He hates dead money. So I'm not saying it's easy to do, but I do think we're at the point now where some teams will look and say, we would give up something to get that player.
How old is this guy?
34. He turned 34 in October, I believe. So when does he start aging? Because I would kind of thought it would have happened already in a sense.
Well, I'm going back to, I didn't want the guy here to start.
It didn't make sense for you.
It didn't make sense. I didn't like what they were doing.
Had to give away a first with Monahan to get it done.
Blah, blah, blah.
That's a big part of it.
He has played decently.
He's been quite good.
He is an asset.
He's
he
has
has
number 2 center in the league.
His numbers, like what is Backlund making? 4.5?
Yeah, they're different total players. One's a third line checking center. The other guy can score 30 in this.
But I'm saying at worst, if Kadri moves right now, and we're talking about the dead money, and it's easy for us to spend $2 million. But if it's a $5 million contract, you're getting him at that. You're telling me that he can't go from a number 2 center to a number 3 checking center for the last couple of years of his career at $5 million?
That's what they'll be getting paid then. Yeah. Like,
come on.
No, you guys, listen. This is classic. Not you, because you've kind of been there. Why can't you
playing
trade
the other
guy?
side of the fence here, but things have changed. Like if the cap's only growing $2-3 million, this is tough. But when he's going to decline, it's not going to be nearly as painful as it looked like it was going to be.
He can fake a knee injury.
If the cap's $110 million, who cares?
Well, that's been your plan all along. I thought it was his back.
Some
No,
days
it's
it is.
Huberdeau's
His back?
But Huberdeau's back's fine.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah. Anyway,
That's fun to talk about.
I would suggest that in the whole Elias Pettersson thing, like who is desperate to add that player? I think the Flames should be kicking tires, but the best deal for the Canucks is going to be the team that's most desperate to add Miller or Pettersson, or they trade neither.
and you won't want to trade him here.
And they both have no moves. Like who says
I
they
mean,
want
you
to be here?
wouldn't.
I don't think they're coming here at all.
No.
I just think
Yeah.
that there's a young centerman that was he not referenced? It plays like Gretzky. He's this guy's.
Well, he's
yeah,
right.
it's-
He's an elite
Yes.
playmaking
And
center.
that's just it.
Yeah.
And you've watched a guy like Eichel leave, and there's how many opportunities do you
Oh, you're
get?
right.
We
Not many.
never
Yeah.
draft in the top 5.
And
Never.
You know what it is? You could count like 20 years. Centers that are young and elite. It's like Thornton, disaster. Seguin, disaster. Eichel, disaster. Like it's going to be tough for the Canucks to win this Elias Pettersson deal if they make it. It just is. You don't move guys in their prime under team control that play number one center and win that deal often.
True.
Love Miller too. He's 32. It's the difference. 32 in March.
Come up, Connie. We'd take Miller. Come on.
Miller, 32, too old. Kadri, 34. Hey, he's got good years left, guys. I don't know what we're talking about.
Wow.
Let's move on.
Very different, but yeah. The okay, where are we at? Boy, this is a hell of a Pinder Report, isn't it?
Mhm.
You've
Well, if you'd hurry
contributed
up,
nothing.
YouTube
We
clips
didn't
in
even get the
Starving
14
over here.
Yeah,
shootouts.
you get starving because you get stuck in the stands. And about playoffs. Let's go. The scene is set. There's the bracket. And it is a real bracket. Don't go yelling at me that I didn't get mad at the CFL. They reseed after each round, so there's not supposed to be lines there. That's good.
How about the Viking getting snot bubble?
Oof.
Not even close.
Only
The
so
game
that
of the
they
weekend.
likely have to go right back there if they win again.
Well, like show up and try, fellas. Come on. Sorry, Jamie Kuntz.
A lot of
Clown.
Like it was 10-9. It's like, oh, this is a
I
battle.
was going to say, when I checked out of that game, it was very much swinging in the balance.
Oh, 31-9.
Hmm.
Good then.
So the good second half for the Lions then.
Look out for the Lions.
Wild card weekend, Steak Peak.
Is it Friday? Oh,
Yeah, it's Monday today still.
Yeah, today's Monday, dude.
CT?
we're doing too much today.
Yeah, we're unloading the whole.
Tomorrow, what are we doing?
Emptying the
Yeah.
clip.
Yeah.
Game day.
Look at this. Saturday. Chargers, who I have not believed in, are starting to win me over.
Did you hear it?
Also on Saturday, Jack.
Oh my God. It's not even worth being mad about anymore because
No.
it's just the same shit every single year. And for some reason, I was fooled. They were 10-3,
Weird.
clear division leaders.
Weird.
And now we're going to fucking Baltimore
Yeah, baby.
on the road.
We're riding the
10-7.
coaster.
I can't believe you've believed in.
I was fooled. Russell Wilson, Arthur
How did he
Smith, all
fall
these
short?
guys.
I was trying to tell
Darn.
you.
Cook it with.
Oh.
Let Russ cook, he was saying. That's what he was saying. Do you have the jackometer by chance, or we're going to do it tomorrow?
Let's do it tomorrow.
We'll do it tomorrow.
Don't know that we need to. I've got a
I-
real.
I know.
Feels like it's sent out there, yeah.
So he's back from space, safe to say.
Yeah, I'm
I
just
think
wondering
it's
Okay,
just
got it. Yeah,
entered
back from
the
the-
atmosphere
yeah.
again.
how big the
Returning quickly.
ball of flame is.
How quick is terminal velocity, Jack?
No, listen, we're laughing. This does not make me happy. I love positive Jack's fun.
This makes me thrilled. This
Oh,
is
When
the whole
he's-
point
when
of the
he's
jackometer.
Raring to go.
He literally has gone to the moon and back in one season, and he does it every year. It's
and he's
amazing.
confused as to how he got fooled.
They were 10-3.
Well, they had a great preseason last year, and the
Yeah.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett, best passer.
This
rating
year's
in the
worse than
preseason.
last year.
admit that you're a
This
fan.
year's worse.
Yes, it's worse
They can
because
still win this
they had-
game. They split with the Raiders.
How is
Yes,
this
they're
worse?
because they actually had high
Tomlin-
expectations this year. Last year was bad, and then they kind of pulled it together, and we just knew they would lose. This year, I was like, okay, maybe there's a chance. There's hope. Ryan will say, "Oh, the Steelers were going to go 9-8." He believed in them at one point. I have the receipts.
They looked like a good team.
They looked like a good football team.
Meanwhile, if people could see, Jack is sitting there in his Steelers jacket.
These
These guys fucking suck.
Stupid Baltimore.
Meanwhile, a month ago,
Now we're going.
Mike Tomlin owns the Ravens. They never lose against Baltimore. Let Russ cook.
Woo! It's true. Oh,
Same two teams, different Jacks.
I hope they're not as emotional as you, Jack.
Jack,
They
what are you
can't
doing
be.
for the game? Let's get you.
Yes,
get you set
Saturday
up.
night.
Some plans.
Yeah, I found out I was working the afterburner that night. Actually,
Switch that
so
out. You can't do that to yourself. Swap it.
I might just be for the best.
Jeez, he's down on them. You don't have a puncher's chance? You beat them once this year.
Poor Jack.
Well, they just played them and they got killed at home.
Yeah, well, now they know.
Now they're on the road where they won.
You like going in on a hot streak?
Yeah. Look at everyone's counting them out just like you.
It's the same shit every year. They need to fire everybody.
Oh,
Firing everyone, did that work last year?
They didn't fire everybody.
Well, I mean, the coordinator that you sent to the moon, he was gunned. Matt
Maybe
Canada.
it's the moon's fault. Too many people on the moon,
Yeah, everyone's going to the
not
moon.
staying here focusing. All right, move on.
Move
This is
on.
going off
Sunday,
the rails.
Broncos, Bills. How do you feel about the Broncos, Rhett?
The Broncos?
Yeah.
They're garbage.
Okay, we'll move along. Packers, Eagles should be a good one. We talked to Frank about that. The Washingtons against the Tampa's, Dean. Washington, not a super inspiring second half, or has it been okay?
Very
Well,
confusing squad. Very confusing for them.
Daniel's hurt his ribs about the midway point,
Yeah,
and
I've only been wrong about them.
the Buccaneers, between Bucky Irving and Jalen McMillan, who's had touchdowns for 4 or 5 straight weeks.
Kate Otten carried the mail for a month in the middle.
Mike Evans, Baker's.
Baker's playing well.
Baker's.
Just-
You know what he is?
Just saying names.
He's balling.
Is he balling?
He's balling.
Ball.
He's loving the Florida Tech.
I don't love that for the Commanders.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And Frank predicted it.
And of course, it is in Tampa because they win that division. Now, that apparently was close. Atlanta nearly
Well, they were down. They were
Yeah.
trailing in that game for much of it
Yeah.
yesterday.
fourth. Yeah, okay.
what about Monday?
And then at Monday, that is the Vikings that will be heading to face the Rams, a team that had a miserable start and still won the NFC West.
13-4, the Vikings.
Very good.
Wow.
Very good.
Finishing 5th, starting on the road.
13-4.
Congrats on your
Yeah.
on your season.
And what? 2 of their losses were to Detroit, and the other one was the Packers, I want to say. Like, that's tough, buddy. Tough.
That's a hard loss to stomach yesterday.
Sorry, Lugo.
You can tell all be a brave front and say all the right things in front of the media. You got shit pumped.
Yeah.
On the last game of the season against a contender. Here's a measuring stick. We got blown out.
And now you got to cross the
Now I
continent.
got to go crazy.
Don't get a bye. And then if you win that, you got to go back to the place you just got stomped. That's a whole lot different than heading home, getting healthy for a week, and knowing you got a home game coming up. Whole lot.
Damn, T's and P's
T's and P's and D's.
to Arash and Lubo and
I was going to say.
Jamal.
Jamal Charles?
That's my buddy.
Jamal. You have a buddy named Jamal?
His name's Jamie. I call him Jamal.
I see.
That's a good name. Football schedule looks good. Look at this.
Let's go.
Thursday, Notre Dame, Penn State. Friday, Ohio State, Texas. That's your college football playoff.
Is that the Cotton Bowl and the Orange Bowl?
Back to you, Jack.
Jack, you're a Yankee.
Sugar Bowl?
I'm
Aren't
not
we all
familiar with the
now?
Bulls.
Didn't try.
Well, I got it. I did find it. Anyway, it's not important. It's college football. It's the big playoff.
It's way better than the old days.
This is the Vegas weekend. This was
This
the,
is
This
Vegas.
is Vegas.
I usually, this was for a long time. I would be in Vegas every year during this week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, wild card games.
next week or next year, Dean.
Oh, what about this year? Can we go? What time? Flights? Leave Wednesday?
Canadian dollar got a bit of a bump on that Trudeau news.
Thank you, Justin.
Preach.
Thanks for your service. You've
Yeah.
really.
You've made a
We'll move along. Sunday, 3 NFL games. Then Monday, you get the Vikings North. They get the Monday game. Okay.
That's a
All
lot of time in
right.
Vegas.
Flash it
We
back
gotta
up.
go from Wednesday.
Too many days in Vegas. You
We
gotta
can
be
do it.
putting yourself to bed. I can't.
we're
do that.
old now, though.
I'll die.
But we're old. We don't run like we used. Well,
One of us.
earmuffs. Rhett, you and I, we don't run like we used to. So it won't be the same Vegas trip as maybe it would have been.
I was in Vegas
10
for
years
5 days for the draft last year.
I want to go and sit by that big pool.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not that warm, though, even in I mean, the pool will be
Right,
heated, but it's not.
Yeah. Well, we don't have to be in the pool and inner.
Well, your buddy
Speedo.
works for that.
Does
group.
he?
Yes.
Let's call him.
That's what you were telling us.
Let's go. Get us rooms,
Las
and then you can buy us flights, and we'll go.
Vegas. Yeah, sounds good. Deal.
Where do the Bills play?
Oh, 11 degrees. That's no good at all.
Yeah,
Pass.
it's not.
Gross. Yuck.
I mean, we'll still go. But,
Ew.
ew. We'll still go for sure.
No, we're not going. It's 11 degrees.
Come on. Ew.
Tyreek Hill, the Jets. Lots of news here. We'll start with the Jets. This was, if you've ever seen the Jets in a season, Rhett, by one image, there it is.
It's perfect.
It's everything.
Yeah, it's just perfect.
It is J-E-T-E Jets. It is everything. Tyreek Hill, I believe he was a captain for the Dolphins this year. He's out of here. Let's have a listen.
My first time, I haven't been in the playoffs, man. So, I mean, for me, like I said, man, I just got to do what's best for me and my family, dog. If that's here, or if that's wherever the case may be, man, I'm finna open that door for myself, dog. As I'm opening the door, like I'm out, bro. You know, so it was great playing here, but
He's thinking about leaving here?
if it is, hey, if yeah,
Not upset.
Captain.
Guy's a great football player, though.
Really
Boy,
good
can he
football.
run.
And then to make it better, look at his profile. He changes it to. It's when he's in Tampa melting down, ripped his jersey off, gave the deuces, and ran off the field and left. See ya.
So he put his
face on
It's
AB.
Antonio Brown.
on Antonio
Sorry.
Brown's
Thank
body.
you. Yes, Antonio Brown did that. He's going full Antonio Brown. I'm out of here. CTE ESPN correspondent. Tyreek Hill.
You think he did that Photoshop?
Go to Buffalo.
Buffalo.
God, he'd look good in Buffalo.
Wouldn't he?
LA? Chargers?
I'm not worried
Deep field
about the
threat?
Chargers.
Baby,
I
let's
don't
go.
care about the Chargers.
You be good bear? They get too many wide receivers.
No,
Scott.
you know what? You don't want him.
Oh.
Good player, but clearly, just a guess, a little self-centered.
Wow, he should have.
You
If
got a
he'd
ring
have
with
won
him,
the
you can't
fight with
say.
the cop at the start of the year, I wouldn't have.
That's right. He got taken down.
He's not boring. Yeah, I mean, he's sired a lot of young football players as
Yeah.
well.
Good.
Is that the right term? Siren?
Siring is excellent work if you can get it.
Really?
Oh.
Expensive later, fun at the time. I think
Yeah,
Tyreek would
that's
tell
good
you.
I question some of my siring.
Well, yeah. Rhett was suggesting in the Pinder Report we go look at some weird sports.
I think it's important. It's better than Crocs.
How good is this intro to the Darts World Championship in Europe? Now, darts, hilarious. Just soak this in, fellas, and try not to vibrate.
It's time to meet the Bullet, Stephen Barton!
Nice swim fives. Walked in, green carpet, not the red carpet. We had it. Big hands.
Gonna have a for dirt.
Just get a kiss. That's the full Tom Brady. Love it.
That's what I'm thinking of when I watch this. Tom Brady.
Yes,
The TB Charles method right there.
guy in a chicken suit. I just want to go be in the crowd. I don't care if my suit doesn't have a view of the dart. I'm good. Jack, have you ever watched pro darts on TV?
Look at the girls.
It's yours. No, thanks for singing. Tagging them on. Look at this. Well done, Max, in here. Oh, well, yeah, that's Stephen Bunting. Stephen Bunting, or
He's got them in the palm of his hands.
yes, I don't do that. That's a banger.
That is a banger.
Set of Four Nations. Can we go do this?
People are pretty excited about that for sure.
Back to the ice football. We haven't caught up in Germany for a while. Jack, I know playoffs are getting close. What's going on?
Wieder der Ball beim Quarterback. Das ist der lange Pass nach außen. Und der ist gefangen. Und der ist gefangen. Und jetzt geht's in Richtung Endzone. Das sieht gut aus. Erik Stehfest. Touchdown. Touchdown für die Ossis. Stehfest.
Impressive stuff.
It is, yeah.
From ice football to ice hockey, Dean, we've got breaking news.
Arthur Kaliev not coming to Calgary.
Shut the front door, dude.
No move?
He's a New York Ranger.
Ooh. Way to go, Chris.
Yeah.
More trouble.
You know what? Say this. He's pulling all the right strings.
Oh, he's pulling strings. We don't know if they're the right
He's
ones.
pulling all. He's
hammering
making all the right
strings.
moves.
Yeah.
Titanium.
Yanking strings all over.
Fire away.
Fire away. Back to me, Dean.
Nothing to lose. Back to you, Ryan.
Thank you, Dean. Ski season upon us.
Ooh,
I know Rhett
it
was
is. I'm
being an
looking at it.
alpinist, working on his moves. This looks bad, but it's actually deadly. Stay with us here.
Deadly.
Oh, I meant to do that. Landed it. Not bad at all.
That's not how it's worked for me in the past. Anytime I have tried to scale or hurdle a chain link fence,
Yeah.
it's gone much poorer.
Your
than
undies get hooked on the top. I've seen the video a few times. In the
Tearing.
video.
Yeah.
Some tearing that happens.
that. Yeah, there's definitely.
Bloodletting.
Mhm.
Okay, good. Ski golf. Never seen this combo. Looks fun though. These are my people. I
This
think this is
dirt.
Jack and his buddies. Foot golf.
With the kicking the ball in the hole deal.
No, the soccer golf. No,
Yeah.
no. I mean, they're doing some more rounds of funding. If you
Yeah.
have any left,
Well, I mean, pickleball took off. You never know.
pickleball has taken off. You ever said you're going to drink 1 million beers? I know I have.
1 million?
Yeah.
Like
A few of us have done it.
Well, someone looked into how to doing it. It's actually not as hard as you think, Dean, because all you need to do is drink 100 beers every day for 27 years. That's a lot of beers. 100 beers a day
That guy's up for it.
for 27 years every day.
Now, is that drunk math or is that real?
I'm going to say it's real, but it's because it's on the internet. It's got to be true.
me and my kids watched Strange Brew over the holidays.
Oh, yeah?
They like it. Pretty good.
Chugged the whole
Hoser?
thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That boy, Hoy Sound.
Do, 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 do.
Terrible
Mm.
movie.
Okay, so there's this
Not
guy in
great.
China who's very, very great at chopping.
Shopping?
Wherever he aims, it's like he never misses.
Oh, yeah.
So they thought they'd test him and raise the stakes by
Oh,
blindfolding
this is
him
Dean on the chain link fence.
and putting the targets right near some dude's Johnsons. Okay, here we go.
Come on.
Blindfolded. Look. Hello.
Don't touch that.
Oh,
That's
jeez.
No chance. Fake.
Oh.
Fake.
you think it's fake?
I'm not being any part of the staged fake thing. I'm staying clear
Yeah,
of that.
fake
guy.
or not, I'm not.
I'm nowhere near that. Get your
No.
hands off there.
Yeah. There's 3 guys there. I'll be the. Yeah. It's look. You can see the edit.
Yeah.
No thanks.
You can see the edit.
You're mad.
Some
You know what's going to lighten you up though? This is real because this is our boy that we met on Friday that you've seen around. He's living his life. To your point, this isn't once.
Just
This
that
is a
gambling
commitment
guy?
to life. It's macho, but it's Beetlejuice vibe, Pete. You get Beetlejuice vibes?
That's macho juice.
Beetlejuice.
I'm not sure how the two intersect.
I like it. Wardrobe.
Showtime, because that's what he said. Beetlejuice.
That's the line. Got it. It's wondering if Macho
No,
juice.
not that. I don't
Macho
know.
juice.
I'm sure he said it over time, but wasn't really one of his catchphrases. You know,
Cream will rise to the top.
Congrats on a new pet. And plot twist for all the viewers. Big reptile fan. Didn't know that, Dean.
Ame belalang kupu-kupu. Taprak biar rame kalau malam minum cucu. Hore!
Almost made
Hore,
it.
minum cucu. Minum cucu, minum cucu.
That's a happy little guy. Hey.
almost made it.
Hey.
I don't know if that thing's happy. I think it's ready to chomp.
Oh, look at the smile.
He's like, let go of my.
Big toothy grin.
What do you call those? What a paws? What has he got? Let go of my
Claws?
talons, bitch.
And Dean, congrats on the crowning achievement of your existence on Earth.
Siring.
A lot of passion,
Too much.
a lot of time, and a
Whoa!
42,000
Shut
piece. So
up.
hang on, 42. That's got to be exaggerated. How big could this puzzle be? Because that's a normal size puzzle piece, maybe a little small.
2,000.
Jeez.
Did they say how long it took?
No.
Was this a
I think
Christmas?
they just narrowly edged out the guy trying to drink a million beers. So 27 years.
Yeah, I felt bad we got defeated. We couldn't get through a 2,000er this Christmas. I had to pack it up.
you packed it up?
I packed
Why
it
didn't you
up.
just keep going?
It's not a Christmas puzzle.
Are you a quitter?
Clown.
Is he a quitter?
Yeah, he's a quitter.
Jack, is he a quitter?
Quitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you. I packed it up. So yeah, I
Quit.
literally quit on the puzzle.
That's it. I'm quitting the Pinder Report
Ah, boy.
on your Monday.
There you go.
Short
That's
one.
it.
Pinder
That's
Report,
it.
a presentation of Village Honda, villagehonda.com, part of the Wood Automotive Group. Man, if they don't have on the lot what you're looking for, well, maybe you're picky. I don't know what to say, but go inside and say, look, man, here's kind of what we're looking for.
They got you.
Well, let's have a seat. Pleased to meet you. Why don't we take a look here? Here's all these dealerships. It's all part of our family. We're going to find what you're looking for.
Damn right. we are.
Find what you're looking for.
Northwest Auto Mall and online at villagehonda.com.
A lot in there.
Yeah.
We've had a busy day.
Alex Chason retired, former Flame.
Chiesa.
Yeah.
Stanley Cup champ.
Yeah.
Didn't he win something?
Did he?
Washington?
Was he on that Washington team?
I think he was.
He was a Dallas Star. And then his buddy,
Didn't he go to Washington and then
he was in Washington.
Edmonton.
He was an
He
Oiler.
was an Oiler for sure. He was a Canuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Played for
yeah.
a lot of teams.
11 years. Yeah. So congrats on a great career. Sounds like Christian Watson has a torn ACL for the Packers. So that's
Oh, that's no good.
not
Who's that?
great.
Receiver for
Christian
the Pack.
Watson, the receiver.
They do have
for the
lots of
Pack.
receivers, so the Wicks will
Yeah.
come in with Dobbs and
Yeah, they got plenty there,
all right.
but they're up against those Eagles.
This is going to be tough.
Who would you rather play, Jack? The Eagles or the Ravens?
Woof.
Woof.
Eagles Bills final.
I'd rather go to Baltimore than go to Philly.
There you go. See,
Wow.
Yes.
it's coming around. It's all
That's
coming
right,
back
Alex.
around.
There.
A Senator, Flame, Capital, Oiler, Canuck, and Wing. Alex.
So
Chiesa.
no Stanley Cup.
No, sir. He was there the year they won. Yeah. 17-18
Stanley Cup.
Capitals. Beat the Vegas Golden, whatchamacallit. Like. What are you laughing at?
It's just Rhett said cup, and he thought you were going to. The primary reason you were looking was to find out if he won a cup. And it's like, oh, so he did.
Teams he played for.
Oh, yes, he did. All right.
Yeah, let's.
Bet 365.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go. Nephew's at
It's a
that
Monday with no
game in
football.
Buffalo. That doesn't matter.
You can
There
work
is
hard at that.
plenty of
Monday with no
things.
football. 4 NHL games.
Dean,
But the thing about Bet365, it's the world's largest sports betting platform. There's a huge range of markets out there. Maybe darts. I bet you could go
oh, hell yeah.
do
Darts.
some darts on there. Or you could probably find something within this NHL sked tonight. If you've not already opened a account with Bet365, do it. Download the app. Use the promo code NATION when you do it. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365, official gaming partner and presenting sponsor of Barn Burner.
You're telling me you're not going to watch Ovechkin tonight? Of course you're going to watch Ovechkin
Oh, yeah.
tonight. Anytime goal plus 115. That's not a big number. But he scored what, 4 or 5?
We hit on that the other day.
Shots on goal, though. Look at this. 8 his last time out. If he gets to 5, Plus 200.
Yep. I like it.
Shows what you can do with the old Bet365. You can ladder up that shot.
Sure you can.
The over-unders at 3.5, 4.5. Let's keep cranking it up.
Fire away.
Fire away, fire away.
Oh.
You better push the button.
You all right?
No.
It's not okay.
Bet365. Download the app.
OB!
Caps -1.5 guaranteed.
Is it?
Oh.
Were they
all in.
playing?
Buffalo.
Buffalo's been better of late.
According to who?
Not that good.
Well, according to losing 13 in a row and then not losing games after that.
They won 2 and then lost the next couple.
Mm-hmm.
They gave up 3-goal lead against whoever the hell it was.
2-2, better than 0-13. Confirmed.
Yeah.
So you're taking.
No, I'm definitely
You
not
want to
taking
put money
Buffalo.
on that?
Nope.
What about a pizza?
Yes, sir. I'm with you with Washington.
What's happening with pizza?
So Jack said it's a new year, so he doesn't have to pay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that what
I
he
owe
said?
Rhett, what, 4 pizzas?
Jesus.
And that's where it'll be until that gets paid
That's
off.
amazing. Can we order all at once? That means Dean and I will be getting some.
Well, speaking of which, we're going to be at Richmond's
guess
Pub tomorrow.
I'll be
Yes, we
crushing
are.
pizza at Richmond's Pub.
We're going to be at Richmond's. It is it's one of our home away from home for Afterburner, our post-game show after Flames game. So we're going to be at the pub tomorrow,
Great pizza.
watching the game, and then doing our hugely
Analysis.
successful post-game show with tons of in-depth analysis that, in fairness, you'll get nowhere else.
That's true.
Immediately after the game.
Not many people will have other shows competing with ours where it's
Yeah.
Rye January and you're on air.
And the game starts at 8.
That's right. You want a Rye January broadcast?
8, 9,
See you at
10,
Richmond's.
30, 10, probably a 10:45 start.
One by one?
You driving?
I'm doing the show from home.
You driving?
You're totally doing the show from home, aren't you? Wednesday.
Pick me up?
Quick little pick you up.
Yeah, Wednesday. Non-travel day.
Guess that's did we do everything we need to do?
Did more. We should have saved some of that for tomorrow.
Yeah.
One super chat.
Oh,
Hey, super chat. Let's take a look at the super chat. Proceeds of our super chat go to the Youth Centers of Calgary. Youth Centers of Calgary, place where kids are welcomed, accepted as they are. Get a break from the stress, just real life, go and just have a nice warm meal, little support,
play some games, read some books,
little
meet some
fun, little
friends.
connection. It's good stuff. Youth Centers of Calgary. Super chat. How do you do it? Well, you just kind of little bit of dough and you fire it in, and then we're going to guaranteed talk about your deal. This is from Ken. We're going political.
Yeah, big time.
Canada cannot become the 51st state because cannabis will become illegal again. Nope, all pass.
Puff, puff, pass, Ken. There's many states that do have
Plenty of
legalized
states
marijuana.
where you
Yeah, do we know
So
how
you would
Trump feels about
Just
it?
become a legal pot state.
they don't want to legalize it, but they're not too forceful.
Decriminalized?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the mushroom states. Let's go, baby.
The
There's a
Trump
few of those.
the Trump tweet today upon hearing the news. Many people in Canada love being the 51st state. The United States can no longer suffer the massive trade deficits and subsidies that Canada needs to stay afloat. Justin Trudeau knew this and resigned. If Canada merged with the US, there'd be no tariffs, taxes would go way down, and they would be totally secure, all caps, from the threat of the Russian and Chinese ships that are constantly surrounding them. Together, what a great nation it would be.
That's very Trumpy. I give him credit. That's on brand for him. It was him. He did it.
Oh,
Is that
man.
the real Donald J. Trump, or is
It's tough to.
Does that's
Sounds pretty on brand, doesn't it?
it does? I'm like, maybe he's pushing for this.
it's like, I thought he was talking out his ass.
I
See?
thought he was just bullshit. I thought he was taking shots at Trudeau. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. These tariffs?
Yeah,
Really?
so-
Well, tomorrow's game day in Anaheim
Yo.
against the Ducks. Place used to be
Can't win.
tough place to
Arrowhead,
win.
14 years.
I have a feeling though it's still going to be a tough place for them to win. Just going out on a limb.
Well, John Gibson.
They're on the road, and Lucas Dostal's actually a good goalie.
Think that it's a cakewalk and
They will
Any
be
strength.
seeking their 6th road victory in their 18th attempt.
not great, Bob. Not great.
Or lose. That's the beauty for us again. Before you push,
We'll be
the-
doing a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing it anyway.
We'll be doing a thing.
Pizza's going to be great.
Yeah,
With the barn burner
Real-
blondes and the tall cans.
Real
right.
good.
that's right.
See you there.
So have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. That'll do it. See you, buddies.